The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 15 spread picks, some cursed money teasers, some super locks. We got all the game previews and injuries for you as well. I'm joined in studio, as I always am, by Mr. Jeffrey Fienberg. How are you?
Very well, Pat.
You came in good spirits. Nervous anticipation for the Thursday nighter, I assume.
I don't know. I've just had a good positive vibe all week. Party last night. Got another one this weekend. Got the game on Sunday.
Game on Thursday.
Thursday. Friends in from out. Like, I'm just excited, even, just for the week as a whole. It's not my holiday season, but I enjoy it.
You know what would make me as giddy as you? If people went to fswa.org/vote video, or find the link in the podcast description or video description or in the comment section and vote for the Pat Mayo Experience as Video of the Year. That would make me happy.
You're got to be up for more than Video of the Year.
I am. This is the only one you can vote on.
Oh, okay. You'll do well.
I don't think so. I'm up against like ESPN and major outlets.
Major outlets.
Ones with larger followings than myself, put it that way.
Ones that leave Brooks Koepka dominant athletes of the year list.
Yes.
That go 20 deep.
Exactly. See, people.
Major outlets.
Major outlets.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so let's introduce the fourth member of the show, because once again, I have forgotten the third member of the show right behind me, so that's never any good. But the fourth member of the show, he is involved in that video that is up for Video of the Year. It is Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
That is not my name.
Heard it was.
No, you did.
I did. I always hear this. I even saw it written on a graphic.
That's because you wrote it.
I didn't write it. That is not true. Factually incorrect, sir.
You directed to someone to write it.
No, that's just what they write, because they know.
Okay.
They know it's your name. So what people can do this week if they want to get into a draw for $20 DK, you go vote for that video. You vote every day, too, if you want. So I recommend that people go do that. So you just let me know. You tweet at me with your DK handle. Boom. You told me you voted. You're in the draw. 20 DK bucks. Also, I want to know from people on the video, give the episode a like. Leave your Draftkings handle in the comment section and tell me which team you think will end up with the 6th seed in the AFC. There's a lot of potential contenders here. And maybe we'll break that down in a second. Also, Tim, you have to give a special shout out to someone too, right?
Yes. Someone named Catherine from the NHLPA reached out to me and asked me to wish a Merry Christmas to her friend Mitch, the NHLPA. So, Merry Christmas.
Someone DM'd Tim about it, and then he wasn't sure if it was like a scam or not. It was fantastic.
I was so eagerly anticipating that to go in a different direction.
Where did you think it was going to go?
I don't know, but I listened to the Stern Show, and they'll send shout outs to get read on air to random radio stations. And
no, this is not trading.
I just thought something else was going to happen there.
No,
Tim is also the reason those emails asking you to go to Western Union and send your dear friend $4,000. The reason those emails exist is because there's
people like Tim,
a guy like Tim out there who might fall for it.
Yeah,
and that's sort of I don't know.
If he was better with the internet, he'd be getting scammed all the time. But joke's on the scammers out there. He doesn't know how to send money to Nigeria.
Well, I don't know. Props.
Or use online banking.
Okay, well, there's fans in the... listen, he's got fans everywhere. And no surprise in the NHLPA headquarters.
Worldwide Tim? Fans across the globe?
Makes sense.
All right, I might as well say this now, just in case I get drawn away from the show for a little while. Tim knows, and avid viewers of the show have probably picked it up here over the past few months, but my wife and I are expecting a child within the next 5 weeks, so I'm going to be gone. So if someone else is hosting the show, like a guest host, which I have planned for when I am gone, and we'll still be doing golf and stuff like that, I can sneak out of the house for a few hours, but I plan on spending some time at home, so that's why I'm not going to be around. So if people are like, where's Pat Mayo? You let them know Pat's away, can't be on the show.
Okay, serious question.
Mm-hmm.
Was this planned to happen after week 17?
Yes.
Of course it was. Because God forbid it happened week 9
I'd be
or
screwed.
something. You'd be
I'd be screwed.
yeah.
No, absolutely.
So, like, worst case, it happens week
subscribe.
17, which is garbage fantasy anyway.
Exactly.
And oh, dude, you're such a pro.
I
guess
really
is
need to
what I'm
plan
trying to
this
say.
stuff out. Because it would be very detrimental to my career if I was just gone for 3 weeks during
Yeah.
football season. I couldn't have that.
Or if it was like Masters Week.
Yeah, Masters Week could be potential. I mean, maybe I'll miss like Sony and Career Builder. I'll probably
Yeah.
still do it anyway. But I probably won't have I'll have shows every day. But like maybe Garion will be on talking about baseball. Maybe Meanie will be on talking about hockey. Just other looks. Paul and Cody talking about MMA. Although we do that anyway. But just stuff like that. And we'll try to get enough golf in and maybe the picks. So
Exciting.
I got the diapers you sent, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, no.
I appreciate that.
Amazon.
Amazon, apparently that's the move, right? Just auto
I don't know,
subscribe.
That's what we sort of do, yeah.
Dang
that's
it.
what
That's
I-
why I won't be around.
I was worried they'd get stolen off your stoop, and then some guy like thought he was getting like a drone, and he would open a box of diapers.
Yeah, that'd be bad for him. I got the diaper, so we're good. Let's recap last week. 7-9 for me, 7-9 for the Cuss, 9-7 for you and L Coin. 9-7, sorry.
Yeah.
9-7 for the two of you. You remain 3 games off the lead, Geoff, behind the Coin. 109 and 90, 106 and 93. Tim is 3 games behind you, 103 and 96. I'm an awful 86 and 113. I had made up 6 games on Tim through the early slate last week and gave them all back in the 4 o'clock games, prime time, and Monday. It was a real disaster.
The greatest 7-9 week I ever had. I was so thrilled.
I was
finish
doing
with-
the math on his, and it was like an ugly start. He did rally back. Like
Because I had gained all these
Yeah.
games on him. I was fire through the early games.
like me doing early math, he was like 2-8 or something. too.
Oh, that was terrible. But I just kept hitting late.
Superlocks last week, Geoff and I both won. Stupid Baltimore couldn't win. The game went exactly how I wanted it to go, and they still couldn't win.
I was getting really into that game.
So was I. It was a great game.
I didn't have money line. I didn't have your
I had the
nuts.
money line and the
I
spread.
I just took the
The
points. So like I'm like so hyper focused on there. It took me like a minute to realize like the entire room I was with was going nuts for what happened in Miami. Because it was literally right as Mahomes was leading that fourth quarter tying drive, I believe.
And at the same time, the Jets were winning, Tim. They scored that touchdown on 4th and goal.
Transcendent play.
Yeah, the transcendent New York
Youngest
Jets.
No, that was
quarterback ever to lead a game-winning drive by default.
I mean, you can laugh, but all those are facts. And that particular play wasn't the game-winning touchdown, but the one he did where you evaded traffic, ran for like 30 yards in terms of aggregate, and threw a dime for a touchdown. Yeah, pretty.
I don't
pretty
listen.
genius.
I'm pro I am the second biggest Darnold fan here. That being said, I think you kind of pointed it out. I think you're overhyping the play because I think in this modern football, it's a play we are seeing once a week.
And it's super easy to scramble around when no one's coming at you.
Yeah, but he's not scrambling against, some scrub defense. He's up against the second best defense in the NFL by DVOA. So,
If you're going to point to DVOA, Tim, you need to concede that the Jets' offensive line is actually pretty good.
the numbers do suggest they're better than I think they are. Yes, and I'd be curious how they quantify those defensive line.
Now he's very skeptical. Now he's very skeptical.
Yeah,
of
now he
DVOA.
wants to see like the long division.
Yeah,
He's the
he needs-
teacher.
he needs
I want
Aaron-
to see your work.
Aaron Schatz needs to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to Tim's house to really break down how they quantify
I
this
gotta
stuff.
see
But when
your
it's in
work.
Tim's favor, it's
Yeah,
set in stone.
yeah.
That's how it is.
Curious.
Tim just
I
wants
will
to see.
say I deserved to lose my super lock last week because I couldn't decide on one. In my gut, I really wanted to take Oakland, but Oakland has burned me too many times this year that I couldn't pull the trigger on them, and I just should have. So I deserve to lose that.
I'm like Dormy for like
Oh,
worst
no,
case be tie.
No, I can get you in super locks.
Oh, 'cause you have a tie.
I have the tie. I can win 3 in a row and get you.
It's okay. I actually already know who I'm picking this week.
Oh, so
And-
I like that sort of guy.
But
I hope it's the Chargers.
I do like. I always enjoy a game like the Jets, like when those two young quarterbacks play, and I'm excited to see both the Bills and the Jets get weapons, and we can really see those two go head to head in the coming years.
They're the future of the conference of the division. Sorry, no doubt about it.
Cyborg
Well-
Tom Brady's just going to play till he's 78.
I mean, old man Tom looked again. We can talk when we get to the Patriots game. He in part he cost his team that game, and I couldn't have happened to a better player.
There was one play in particular in that game we will talk about when we get to it that was just not very Brady-esque, put it that way.
Oh yeah.
No, he
It was just like, whew, that's strange. But in fairness, they really should have won the game. They lost on a ridiculous play.
Yeah, well, so be it. They lost because their team was outcoached and they played poorly.
I was
Straight up question. If you had to redraft right now, if you were the Jets and the Bills and you had a choice between Darnold and Allen, who would you take?
Darnold.
I'd take Allen.
I think both would take the guys they took, to be honest with you.
I really like Allen though, like so
He's fun.
much.
I don't even know if he's good, but he's so fun to watch.
And the turnover, like, you know, he's just trying too hard at the moment.
Yeah, people need to tell him he's allowed to throw the ball away.
And I'll say this, sort of like, because he was hurt early in the year, Darnold got hurt later, just like Darnold does a lot of picks. I just caught them both trying like too hard this year. I'm excited for all of them, and Baker's the man, and I don't know, Rosen is
the one QB that I think if they redrafted, he would go lower than he did.
Yeah, he's like lollygagging hard. He hasn't given me that moment. Even that beating the Packers at Lambeau.
I thought his moment was that comeback against the 49ers when he came out in the second
Oh,
half.
that was our super lock.
It was, yeah.
He
rallied.
Yeah, that was a great moment. There was like some amazing game I wasn't watching because I was watching that comeback.
Tim has dropped to 3-12 in the cursed money teasers. Also, I was eliminated from Survivor in my final Survivor pool because I picked the Steelers, but joke's on them because I forgot to submit my pick. So it didn't matter either way.
So you are eliminated or you're auto-giving someone else?
No, I was eliminated.
Oh, okay.
Because I did make a pick. But I would have been eliminated anyway had I made the pick, so it didn't matter. Thursday night game, Jeff, you take it away. We have Chargers at Chiefs, -3.5. 53.5 is the over-under. No Spencer Ware. Tyreek Hill looks like he's going to play iffy on Melvin Gordon. No Austin Eckler. What do you make of this?
Okay. I would like to say something, and I want to, because I don't want to spend too much time, even though it's a big
It's
game.
a Thursday game. So we gotta breeze through it.
But there's something like bigger than the game that I want to talk about that involves Tim. So that kind of okay.
Is it the scheduling of these games?
Well,
you were getting
okay.
on that.
I am. You know what? Thanks for reminding me. I am annoyed. Anyone could remember. It doesn't take a genius fan. We keep going there. I don't mind it in a proper rotation, but that's kind of annoying. We keep going there.
You sound like Tim.
When I say this stuff, it's the second week in a row. When I say something similar, I get
sound like
crucified.
No. He's picking these like minute things that happen like everywhere. I just keep going there at Christmas. My fair turn. I get it's Kansas City, it's Arrowhead. I want to play my fair shake of December primetime games there. Not every year. If that makes me Tim, that's bullshit. Because on a bigger note, we are so different. Anytime I say something, it's like I'm being like Tim. No. Tim has like been picking the Patriots to lose the AFC East for a decade. Just because like we're not nearly the same. We love our teams equally, but we're not the same.
So I would say the difference is your gripe is that you constantly have to go to Arrowhead in December and play a primetime game, whereas Tim's gripe is like, oh,
the league is out to get us. Yeah. I don't think the league is out to get us. They don't care about us enough to like be out to get us. I just want to like maybe every 3 years, like every year, Christmas, Arrowhead, enough. Under lights. What happened to 1 p.m. in October? Okay, let's get to the game in hand. I'm not going to lie, guys. Last year, we played this exact game this week, probably, and I was fired up. Like, I was fired up. It was like fired up. We were like that hot team that was 0-4, and we were really on our run, and they killed us. And I was really confident for that game. And then I spent the summer like confident that we would get them week 1. And even Chiefs fans know, like I was high on Mahomes. I didn't think he would do this like a lot of Chiefs fans. He's exceeded expectations.
He can still break the passing touchdown record. He's 13 in the final.
But I was like confident, like first start, like we will get our leg up finally on the Chiefs. Yeah, you probably remember how confident I probably was.
I liked them that week too.
So they have like beaten the confidence like out of me now. It's 9 in a row, and the last 2 I was hyper confident. So I'm not like that. Does that make me Tim to say like, I don't know, I'm anticipating something bad happening, but I really hope they do well? Like that doesn't make me Tim.
Tim would go out of his way to try to curse the other team and then play both sides.
So I don't know that. So hey. I'm like beaten down by Kansas City. They have beaten me down, and I'll be honest. They are really the only team I fear in the American Football Conference. I think I could handle whatever New England has, and
I still think that Baltimore is the team that.
Well, Baltimore actually scares
me. But they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
A 5-6 would be impossible. We'd be playing in an AFC title game. That would Okay, so now
I think there's a real chance that could be a first round matchup the way the Steelers are playing. That could
that's okay, maybe fair, and they play next week. Here's the thing, though, Pat. Did that game going to overtime give me a gem? Because I got some numbers, and they go deep and they rock hard. NFL teams 6-16 straight up and 3-18-1 against the spread on Thursdays when coming off an overtime game since 2006. I got more. If including 2-12 straight up and 0-13-1 against the spread if the team that they are playing has a winning percentage over 400. Let's take it deeper. That's since 2006. I think I said that. Teams coming off the win, off the overtime win, we'll break it down from that sample, are 13-30-2 ATS the last 4 years in the following game. I'm not even talking about Thursdays. You know how I like to talk about that overtime win is always a good spot. That being said, we're colliding with these Thursday games. We've seen historically on Thursdays, the better teams just seem to win. That just seems to be a pattern. Far less upsets on Thursdays than Sunday afternoon. I think, right? I mean, I'm perceptively thinking that, but so we're up against Thursday and nighttime at Arrowhead, but we're gonna throw a punch, and we'll see.
So you're taking the Chargers?
Well, yeah, I'm obviously taking the Chargers.
Tim, do you have a take? Like, are you leaning either way? Because I'm leaning one way, but I'm not sold completely.
The hook is enough to make me want to take the Chargers. I think Chiefs win it by 3. So I will take I don't have a ton of confidence in betting the game. I just think, listen, the Chargers, if the Bengals had a pulse, they would have won by 15 points on Sunday. The Chargers just didn't show up last Sunday. And we talked about it last week of how it could be a spot game if the Bengals had any talent. And it almost was a spot game, and the Bengals don't have any talent. So,
but I would argue the Chargers sleptwalk through it. Like they almost never put the pedal down because of
I'm just saying that doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me, given that they played badly against the Steelers for the first half, and then rallied, played a great second half, and then played badly for a whole game against the Bengals. I don't know. Just right now, I don't know. The Chargers are not playing their best football right now. They're playing well. They're not playing their best. But neither are the Chiefs. I don't know. I think it's actually going to be a very low-scoring game. I think it's going to be like 20-17 for Kansas City, and that's the way I'm going to pick the game. So I'll take the Bolts with the hook.
Do you know the Chargers have not gotten on a plane this year and lost the football game? Their only loss on the road was versus the Rams.
So you think that Phillip should take a plane from San Diego to Los Angeles for the games?
No, we suck at home. Like, we suck at home.
You have no home.
Yeah, we suck at whatever it is. I mean, look at, like, the home games outside of Arizona. Like, a lot of, they barely beat the Bengals. They barely beat the 49ers. Like, they just lollygag at home. At road, they're very, just this, like, more, I don't know, better.
I'm going to go under the impression of I'll take the better team. And I think it's to your best interest that the Chiefs win this game.
You're just fading Tim.
Oh, I like Kansas City in this game by quite a bit, actually. That's my lean in this game. I think they win by 10 or more.
Well, you said something that I've thought about. And does this make me Tim to say, like, we lose the game?
Better news for you, because no one beats anyone 3 times in a year. So if you play them again, you'll definitely beat them. I wasn't even
thinking about that. I was just thinking that the loss really allows us to sort of just
get healthy. Don't worry about forcing Melvin Gordon back.
Like whatever it is, like, just can sort of.
And then maybe let the Ravens into the playoffs by letting them win next week. I think that's a dangerous spot. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying it is what it is. But if the Chargers lose this game, there's sort of like a finality lock set in stone into wild card. They don't have to like push anything.
And if you let the Ravens into the playoffs, since you wouldn't have to play them until the AFC title game anyway, you let them in there and see if they can do some of your dirty work for you.
I like Frankenstein/Service Academy. Okay. Also, because the game debate can be over. Tim, what's with Tim and like treating Joey Bosa like he's Brent Gretzky?
Not. I don't think I've said a bad word against Joey Bosa. Just that.
Yeah, you say that the good Bosa. That implies that there's another Bosa who isn't good though, right?
You don't get as far as the Molinari brothers got in the world of golf.
Are you calling
Eduardo Molinari is fucking terrible?
Are you calling Joey Eduardo Molinari?
100 or 200 best golfers on the face of the earth. He's obviously a great golfer, but his brother is world class and head and shoulders above it.
Okay, but Joey Bosa, through like the X amount of games he's played, is with like the greatest at the
Ever
position.
since
I'm not
Joey
saying,
Bosa-
listen, I'm buying into Nick being better because younger brothers, imagine like when you have an older brother like Joey, like you will be better. You will be better for never winning anything as a child. Like I think
Since Joey Bosa got thrown out of the Fiesta Bowl for targeting Notre Dame, I haven't really liked the guy as terms of a player, and just I'm glad that
I was waiting for there to actually be a reason. Now we have it.
And now I'm glad that the Jets have a chance to get the good Bosa. That's all.
Next
That's what
game.
I'm going to call it.
Saturday's slate of games. We're going to run through these games pretty quickly because we have your team out of the way. Now we're getting Tim's team out of the way. Houston at the Jets. 6 is the number. Normally, when I was looking at these games from like a week ago, I was pretty gung-ho. That was a great spot for the Jets to cover this number against the Texans. Then all of a sudden, the Texans lose for the first time since September. The Jets go into Buffalo. Big comeback win. I like the -6 with Houston on the road. They've made sort of a living this year on beating up on shit teams. And the Jets, they might be good in the future, Tim. They really might be. But right now, they're still shit. And the Texans wax them on Saturday night.
I think the Jets lose the game by 3, so I like the Jets to cover the number. I think it's an interesting test for Sam to go up against a great pass rushing defense. It's sort of like pillar to post. You play Buffalo. In terms of a defense, now you play the Texans. It's they're certainly not coddling him towards the end of the year. They're putting up against some live bullets. But I think he gets the job done in terms of like not embarrassing himself and playing good football. But the Texans are the better football team. They should win the game. So I am going to I'm going to pick the Jets to cover, but I think the Titans win.
Looks like no Crowell, McGuire, Lizzie that would be, and Cannon.
There might be a reboot, something else.
And they're both banged up. It looks like Quincy is either not playing or he's banged up too. Maybe the over props on like Herndon and Robbie Andercust is the way to go here if you want to bet this game. But I'll take the -6.
Sam's a big time player. The last time he had a solo game to himself, he played one of the best games of the year. So I think Sam's when the lights are on, Sam shows up.
Are you going to take the interception bet this week? You got bailed out by one pass last week.
Whatever.
Tim makes a bet every week that Darnold won't throw an interception on the first 10 passes of the game, and he threw it on the 11th this week. Finally a winner on that bet. And he gives 10 to 1 odds.
And that pick wasn't even his fault.
Yeah, nothing's ever his fault.
The receiver broke off.
Like when he plays behind his crappy offensive line that turns out they're actually pretty good.
Well, not. But we'll see about that. I'm skeptical.
The Texans would have only covered this number once all year on the road. Even some really uninspiring road games throughout the season.
I mean, they went into Denver and beat Denver. They went into Washington when Washington was still okay.
They're like Colt McCoy and horrible.
But they didn't cover against Washington.
No, they didn't.
Listen, I'm just saying. Yeah, they should have. So I'm actually going to pick the Jets here, Pat, who are on a nice little string of just playing hard football. They played tight with the Patriots 3 weeks ago. They hung around with the Titans 2 weeks ago. They came back versus Buffalo last week. So I think this is a couple too many points. Houston, just on a holiday Saturday, are going to walk in there, win the game. I don't think they cover this.
I would have liked the 6 if Houston hadn't lost last week.
I am worried.
They're still playing for the bye.
I am worried. And I mean this, and I'm a fan though, but I'll say this. I am worried like Darnold will do something stupid late, like he's having some fumbling, like something dumb. And Houston does have a defense. We saw them cause some trouble at home with Baker. So I am worried that something late in the game could have this. But I'm telling you, this game flow is going to be a close game.
But it's rare though that the NFL decided to put the main course on at 5:00 and the appetizer at 9:00.
No, QB1 on the Browns is probably the main course, and you'll find you'll be the set. I'm just saying you'll find out in a few months when the 2019 schedule comes out and the Browns have 4 primetime games. So they're the main course, as much as you want to say what you want.
You mean the first pick and the better player is the one that you want against Denver in a competitive game?
It is weird of a day full of AFC football that the premier AFC franchise wouldn't be playing at night, according to Tim.
Maybe the 5:30 game is a better rating. Sort of like how the Fox 5:00 game does better than the NBC game.
It actually does. The early
I can spell this out for you that they just made the later game the West Coast team.
Yeah. But he's not wrong. The Saturday early game is usually the better rated game. While the Sunday later game Because Saturday, people are kind of like going out Saturday at that time. They're kind of just still lollygagging.
All right, Cleveland at Denver, -3. Denver, 45.5 is the over/under here. Denver at home, is it that easy?
I'll tell you why it is that easy. Because
the stinky Niners upset Denver on the road.
yeah, that you call
Very
that.
disappointing.
They had that injury. As we were recording last week, maybe
With Emmanuel Sanders? No, he was hurt before the game. Apparently,
no, when we did the show, or I think he got hurt Thursday practice.
he was already hurt when we did the show last week. He was.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't think so because I think he did something hot. I think it was the day after. Either way, I don't think it would have changed my pick. The coin picked Kansas City. Did we talk to
Kansas City and Houston? The coin is on.
Okay, good. I'm happy to be on two different sides.
Besides the coin, you're trying to make some games.
No,
on the
I'm doing my
coins.
own thing here. I'll say this: according to the Westgate advance lines on Cleveland, Denver, Pat, what do you think this number was last week?
6.
6.5.
6.5. And Denver loses their game, and Cleveland wins a nice game at home that was entertaining and, a focal point of Cam
Missed
Newton's.
the over/under by a point.
Oh, I know they had to go for it.
I know they had to go for it.
I was
They
thinking about
just kick the
you.
field goal and we got the over, boys.
So here's the thing. I'm going to pick Denver at home. This is one of the better defenses I think Cleveland has faced. We saw Baker sort of have some trouble against Houston on the road. Obviously, Houston's better than Denver, but defensively, Denver can make things happen. Denver at home this year. I mean, they even caused Mahomes issues. I think this will be a tough out. I'm excited to bet on Cleveland at home in the last 3 weeks, but this is a road game. So give me Denver, and I think there's great line value based on perceptions and where this was a week ago.
There is. I just worry about Denver's offense.
You should be.
It was bad last
But Lindsey
week.
should get hit.
And listen, I know that David Njoku is no George Kittle, but they didn't even
wow.
cover him.
Yeah.
Njoku's just gonna be standing there 20 yards down the field with no one around him for 20 yards. So I like Cleveland. Just give me the better quarterback. I know the pass rush might get to him, and this just might be an overwhelming spot, and Denver at home is always terrifying, but something about Denver just doesn't smell right at all. And Denzel Ward might be back in this game too. So you avoid the pass rush. Maybe you just run Chubb. You can run on Denver, no problem.
I don't know if Tim would get here in this, but the road for the Browns winning the division isn't crazy.
Well,
It's a bit extreme.
No, there's one game. They need one game. To me, there's one game of the 5 that they need where their situation is the underdog.
At Baltimore, week 17.
Well, okay, 2 then. But hear this.
This game, because they're also underdogs.
I'm not talking about that. I mean, games where they need help from other people, not controlling their own destiny. Pittsburgh plays New England and the Saints. And Baltimore plays Tampa and the Chargers. That Tampa game, I think Baltimore, either way, if Tampa beats Baltimore and Cleveland won on Saturday, that's going to be real.
Well, here's the thing.
The loser of this game is done.
I don't know what the division odds are on Cleveland right now, and I don't know what the Rookie of the Year odds are, but everyone's just talked about how Barkley has this wrapped up, and that's probably true. But there's a 1% chance that Cleveland wins the division. If Cleveland wins the division because of Baker's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Sure. If they go 500, he wins Rookie of the Year.
Nah, Barkley's been too good.
They can't go 500
They can go 7-8-1,
or 8-7-1, but they can't go 500.
Sorry, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Maybe. I actually do think Barkley has it wrapped up almost no matter what.
If Cleveland makes the playoffs, Baker will win.
But
Rookie of the
it would
Year.
have to also be because of Baker. I don't know.
What else is it going to be because of? Come on.
Good defense. You said Chubb running like crazy through opponents. I don't know. I guess if Rookie of the Year is ostentatiously and unnecessarily faking the ball before you hand it off, I guess then that constitutes Rookie of the Year. But to me, I don't know. I don't buy that.
If they make the playoffs, he gets the Browns to the playoffs after he took over an 0-2 team, an 0-1-1 team. I think that'd be worth it. And they want to give, and they want historically they want to give quarterbacks the award.
I don't know if that's so true with the Rookie of the Year award. You look back, I don't think that's necessarily the case.
I think you look back to the
because
point
it's so
of
hard for a quarterback.
No, I think you start
do
looking
it.
back to when they actually started rookie quarterbacks. Like, what is the Flacco Matt Ryan year? Is really the first year rookie quarterbacks became a thing. You drafted them, then you played them. They weren't sitting behind anyone anymore. Since then, really feel like quarterbacks have dominated.
I should look it up. I don't know that that's true, but I'm going to look it up.
You're right,
while
though.
we're talking.
Like Eli sat behind Warner,
Rodgers sat behind Favre.
and Ben sat behind even like Tommy Maddox for a couple months
Until he got hurt. Yeah, then Roethlisberger, what was that, 2004?
Even like Palmer sat behind Kitna. They all sat.
So, Tim, who are you taking in this game, by the way?
I think I agreed with every single word that Geoff said, and that is why I'm going to take the Broncos.
Okay, so Cleveland for myself and the coin. You're on the opposite side of the coin again, Geoff.
I'm just picking my games.
Arizona at Atlanta to kick off the 1 o'clock slate. 9. Atlanta is favored by in this game. 44 is the game total. I don't know what to do with this game. Is Arizona going to score more than 3 points? They should, right? Think David Johnson could do something?
Seems like a lot of points.
It does.
It really
but
does.
It's Arizona. It seems like they either win outright or just get demolished.
But the only teams, I don't know. Since Rosen took over, they've only gotten demolished twice.
Once by Denver.
And once by the Chargers.
By the Chargers.
They got demolished last week.
I mean, I'll be quick. I'm taking the Falcons just because I just think if Arizona had sort of life in them, they would have played to some degree at home against the Lions and just didn't show up. By the way, 4 of the last offensive rookie of the years have not been quarterbacks.
Who have they been?
Kamara, Prescott, Gurley, Beckham, Lacey. That have been your last 5 offensive rookies of the year. 1 QB in there is Prescott.
I'm not surprised it's an award that's like heavy to running backs.
Well, it's easier for a running back to have a big year. I wonder who the quarterbacks
Now,
were
before
in those
that,
years.
you got 3 quarterbacks in a row. It was Griffin, Newton, and Bradford. But
They
then
don't
Percy
play.
Harvin was after that. So
Who was it last year? Who could it have been?
last
a
was
quarterback?
Alvin Kamara.
No, but who could it have been last year as a rookie quarterback?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know if there was.
Nobody really.
No
Nobody really. No quarterbacks really taken high last year, right?
Yeah, there was no one really good. So I'm wondering in those years if there was a competitive quarterback for the award.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, because in 2016, both Goff and Wentz played poorly.
Yeah,
That's
so-
why.
so they
But
beat
Prescott. Yeah. I don't know. We could go through. I'm just saying that I understood your point, but I knew I could remember that frequently, at least recently, quarterbacks have not been winning this thing. That's all.
It just reminds me of like Super Bowl MVP. When in doubt, if there's no clear choice, take the quarterback.
Sure. Yeah.
And
That's fair.
if Baker gets them into the playoffs, I would say that there
I
is an
can see-
argument.
I can say I think he deserves it, and I still think that Barkley would win it.
I don't know about that. Another just knife to Barkley because people are real down on him because he's no.
I like Barkley.
because he's no Sam Darnold.
Nah, well, I get that, but I actually like Barkley. I'm not going to say mean things about him. I think he's actually a marvelous player.
I'm going to take Atlanta in this game too.
There are people
Yeah,
that
so
don't
I don't know
think
how you
he's
play.
marvelous.
I'm who?
Barkley?
I don't know.
Like you could argue the pick, but he's still marvelous, even if you don't think
Yeah, he's still
worth
excellent.
The pick. Oh, I'm gonna take Atlanta.
I
It's
feel
one
like
of
I
those
should
like
I feel-
home games.
You know what? I'm going to Arizona. When I look at the spread percentage on this, it's going to be like 98% Atlanta. Like who is taking Arizona? No one.
Atlanta's pissed a lot of people off.
This is exactly what I did when I didn't take the Bengals last week. And I looked at it. I was like, I can't make a case for them to cover. And of course they covered. And all the money was on the Chargers.
This is like
team
that
probably will
home.
have the
It's one of those,
smallest handle.
just that shitty home game that Atlanta's gonna like win big.
I think Kelvin Ridley has a big game in this one.
Certainly possible.
So I'll go.
I think it's a dour game, and we should just move on.
All right, I'll go Arizona. Dallas and Indy.
That was a good game.
Indy's favored by 2.5.
Might be my super lock.
47 is the over/under. I like Indy in this spot. I like the over in this game, and I like Indy. I think that they can get to this defense. It all depends on how the offensive line holds up. And T.Y. Hilton he's going to play, but he's banged up right now with, I think it's a knee injury. It's something, heel injury, ankle injury, something. He just popped up on the injury report today. But I think that Luck is sort of the quarterback that can go in and win this game for them. And then like another game that we're going to get to later on, the AFC South has played, actually the Titans and the Colts have played the NFC East really well this year. And just everyone's riding high for Dallas. They're coming in off a big win, the overtime win last week against Philly.
You know me.
I just like Indy here.
Love him.
Give me Luck versus Prescott. I'll take Luck.
They could be my super lock. Dallas is won 5 in a row. It's got to end.
Since they lost to Tennessee.
And it's the perfect time to end in a game that is cross-conference that doesn't really mean anything to them anymore. I don't think they care whether they're like the 3rd or the 4th seed. I don't think that's there. yet. The Eagles are dead, and the Redskins are dead. So Indy is going to win this thing by like 2 touchdowns, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, really? You like Indy that much?
Yeah.
Coin likes Indy too. I like Indy. Tim?
How about them Cowboys? They're the first end of a free money teaser. We're going to tease them up to 9.5.
Do you want to bet the 40 you owe me on this game?
I'm not that confident. No, because it's not my super lock. I think they're going to. That's why I want to tease it. I think
You know
Dallas.
what Tim is? Chicken.
No, I'm
I
not
am
going to go
Tim's
there.
a big
I
chicken.
asked. I'm not going to push the issue.
They're not my super lock. I think they're the better team, but
They might be the better team.
I'm less
time to lose.
say. Well, the Colts can get them, but like a much better offense. Than they did 2 weeks ago.
What are you doing, by the way? Can you sit in front of your microphone and talk into it?
I didn't move an inch.
That's a lie.
I didn't. A much better team played this Cowboys team 2 weeks ago and managed to score 10 points.
He's noticeably quieter, right?
Now I can't hear anything.
Yeah, now we can't hear anything. So how far away from the computer are you standing?
I honestly didn't move an inch.
Oh, really? You haven't moved an inch, have you?
I'm in my recliner.
Yeah. Did you recline away from the computer?
I did no such thing.
You like sipping tea, staring at the frozen lake,
I do have some tea here, but I wasn't sipping it at this moment.
Continue.
It's broken my stream of concentration. I'm not too concerned about an offense taking advantage of them, like we've seen the last couple of weeks. As it gets later in the year, great offenses will usually get worn down by great defenses. I'm not. I can see your point on the over because both teams can score. I think Cooper is in line to have a huge day, and Hilton could too. But he's not 100%, so I don't know. It's a tough spot. I mean, yes, Indy needs the game more, and so just on that basis, I get taking the Colts just on that in the overtime. But just Dallas is better, and I think Dallas is going to win, so I'll take them.
I hear a lot of clicking over there, and you're constantly moving around, sacrificing the audio quality. And it sounds like you're playing fucking online blackjack with the way that you're click, click, click.
Well, my clicks may be loud, but I haven't moved an inch, so it's not.
No one believes you.
It's impossible.
Just lying through your teeth.
No, I'm not. I would tell you if I was moving.
No,
I'm
you
not.
wouldn't. It was just like when that thing was impossible to download.
It was.
He's just moving out. He doesn't want to
Is
admit
he
that he's
just
leaving.
like rocking in his
No,
recliner?
he's going
Maybe that's
outside
what
for
he's
cigarettes.
I am not.
You definitely. Oh, now you sound fine. Back by the computer, are we?
I haven't moved. I have been misrepresented.
You can hear him moving.
No, you heard something else. You didn't hear me. Just the ambient noise in your studio.
What does he gain by lying?
I don't know what he gains by lying. He's just a pathological liar.
I am not. I'm not. Okay, you know what? I know what you're trying to do now, and I'm not taking.
I'm not trying to do anything except for get you admit you're moving around. No one can make up
I'm
the
not,
fuck you're
no.
saying.
I'm not. I've been.
Your
completely
audio
settled
quality's gotten much worse in like the last couple minutes, though. That's undeniable.
I think it sounds fine, and I haven't moved. And I.
What do you
Now
mean
it-
you think it sounds fine?
It literally just got back to like what it was before, I think.
Yeah, so he's now situated himself back to where he was when he started. Were you doing some gentle aquafit in between?
No, I didn't
some dry land
move.
fit training?
No, I will. I will not. I don't need to take this.
All right, you can get off the line if you'd like.
I didn't move. I don't know what sound you heard. I have no idea, but I didn't move an inch.
He's lying. Such a liar. Detroit and Buffalo. Oh, you and I went to this game last time it was in Buffalo, Tim.
Exactly.
Minus,
Last time it was there.
minus 2.5, the Bills are favored. 38.5 is the over-under. Stupid Detroit made me look foolish last week after I took Arizona to win outright. I'll still take Buffalo to win this game. They lost last week. They get one at the Ralph. Less than 3 seems strange.
Detroit has honestly been a very predictable team. As I, was on them last week. They don't play up. They're unable to play up to competition, but they certainly don't play down to competition. I think they consistently show that. But I'm sort of like you. I don't think the Bills are like a good team, even though they're kind of one of the more exciting.
Yeah, they're
bad
not good.
teams.
They're not good whatsoever.
It's exciting to watch Allen, but Yeah, I was really annoyed I picked them last week because I knew that loss to the Jets, that game earlier was going to come back and get them. But getting that under 3 home game December, they're going to lose 2. I don't see them losing back-to-back December home games to teams that are like equally some.
Yeah.
If that made any sense.
Indoors going outdoors.
But they practice outside.
Sometimes they practice outside. Not all of the time.
But what's funny is Patricia said that helped them win in Arizona, which I was really confused about.
No, it
Doesn't have a clue.
It toughened them up. So when you play in great conditions, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. Look how good we are.
And Stafford, I don't know. His health status, I don't think is very strong at the moment. He's just been downgraded to questionable.
He's going to play. Unless they say, basically, if he hasn't been ruled out yet, he's playing.
Is he going to be there next year?
Hope so. I like Stafford.
I think they're into him for too much money to let him go.
So Buffalo from me, from Geoff, and the coin. Tim, are you going to make it a clean sweep?
I am indeed. Buffalo should not be only a 2.5-point favorite here. They should be getting the full 3. That they're not is there's actually real value, I think, in betting the Bills here.
Okay. Green Bay at Chicago. Trubisky going to be back, healthier this time around. The new look Packers with Joe Philbin, who maybe he's allowed 10 challenges. I don't know. I don't know what he's up to, but they won, so that's good news. -6 at home for the Bears, 45. Do you know what the early line on this game was before the Sunday Nighter last week? Because I bet you it was 3.5.
I could find it.
So I'm going to take Green Bay in this game. I
agree.
I think a lot of people saw Chicago on Sunday night and just think, like, we even saw it in that text thread or that group thread that we're in, Tim. Our one friend who's like wishy-washy on watching football. So he only watches primetime games. That was
Bears
the game,
are awesome,
and that was
right?
the game that he watched. He asked us, are the Bears the best team in football? They're not. They're good.
No.
They're probably a top 6 team in football. They're not the best
and
team.
they got the sort of team that when they go to the playoffs and travel, because they play great defense, could beat anybody on any day. But, Rodgers is I like getting this many points with Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers has owned the Bears, particularly in Soldier Field over the years. So, the Bears are feeling really good and on top of the world, and the Packers quietly put together a nice win last week against the Falcons. They're a half game out of the playoffs right now. So or a full game, sorry, because Minnesota is 6-6-1 and they're 5-7-1. So they're a full game out, and Minnesota still has games left that they can lose, like this week when they're going to lose. So I think that, I think the Packers are going to win the game, and then things become sort of interesting. Aaron Rodgers could find a way to weasel his way into the playoffs and could cause a lot of damage to the NFC.
They're playing for Joe Philbin, Geoff. Giving him a job.
I'm not buying it. I'm disappointed to see how you flip the sucker. The coin, that is.
Coin like Chicago.
I'm going to take the Bears here. I'm going to make some comparatives in the sense that I know like A plus B doesn't equal C, but we're talking about the division here. And Green Bay went into Minnesota and sucked, and they're going to go into Chicago and suck.
Okay.
By the way, we're teasing them up to 13.
I am.
The second end of the team.
I don't mind that call. I am very worried that there's an easy backdoor here, though, that's going to be available.
I can see that.
So that does, and this is a no bet game, but if I got to bet it, I'm gonna lay the points. Atlanta's just dickless.
Green Bay. No, Atlanta, yeah.
Like in yeah.
So my Arizona pick looking better by the moment. They can beat a dickless Atlanta team, or at least cover the 9.
Dickless teams even like have those wicked home games.
Miami at Minnesota. Tim, I heard you just say that Miami's going to win this game. It's -7.
Yeah. Tannehill, career record, 4-24, or not Tannehill, sorry, Cousins. Career record, 4-24 against teams 500 or better. The Dolphins are 7-6. The Vikings looked absolutely anemic 2 weeks ago against the Patriots defense, which is bad and did nothing. They looked anemic last week against the Seahawks, who have a good defense, and did nothing. Now the Dolphins, who don't have the world's best defense, but are coming off a big win with everything still to play for in the AFC as much as the Vikings. I think them getting 7 points, that's crazy. That there's tons of value there. We're going to tease them up. They're on the free money teaser. We're going to take them on the money line to win. I think they're the better football team. I mean, when will the lesson be learned that Kirk Cousins is just a blah quarterback who's not? I think Tannehill's the better quarterback.
Did you just call Kirk Cousins a black quarterback?
Blah. like
Blah.
blah.
Oh.
You know what's so? This
Yeah,
is why.
Like, so what?
Ti-
Like,
Ti-
he's
Tim,
like
Tim sends us every day on our like text thread. Tim sends us like anti Kirk Cousins propaganda. I've never seen someone so triggered by anyone in my life. And do you know why this is?
We all know why.
No, it's because he doesn't believe in Sam Darnold whatsoever. So he has to
That's not
constantly
true.
put out, oh, look, the Jets made the right move by not signing Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins right now, of all the free agent QBs, he's the one in the playoffs, Tim.
Listen,
please.
nobody.
He is
You're a
he's a mediocre, so blase, blah type of quarterback that just you can't get excited about, and they're into him for $90 million guaranteed, and like Tannehill's better, and he's
This
gonna
is
win.
why. This is why. Don't ever compare. Like we both love our teams, but don't compare us. Because I won't pussyfoot around when I say stuff and then pretend I didn't say it like I'm running for office. That's not how I work. He works that way.
What happened to top 5 quarterback Kirk Cousins?
We all
I
know.
never said
We all know how you spoke about Cousins when he had to be a Jet. We all know.
And I've said I was wrong about that. Am I not allowed to learn from my mistakes and grow and admit mistakes and move on? Or am I just forever consigned to a claim that I made that I was incorrect about, that I've seen the light about?
But you don't do that for anything that doesn't directly affect the Jets.
That's what you say.
But, I mean, you speak on the show all the time, sometimes really far away from the computer, other times close to the computer, and people can hear what you say.
I'm saying what now I hope people are starting to learn, but I don't think enough people are learning that Kirk Cousins is just not that good.
No, man, they're
And-
learning.
They're
I'm
learning.
telling you,
Hey,
they're all learning. That being said,
this is the game that ruins his teaser.
that
by the way.
over that-
Miami
yeah.
is getting waxed
that
in
over
Minnesota.
that stat of Cousins versus teams over 500. This is an asterisk because they are gonna beat down the Dolphins. The Viking pass rush is gonna eat Tannehill alive. Everyone saw what happened on Monday, and the Vikings. I mean, like, call me a hamster that's looking for that cheese on the other side of the electric fence, and I'm taking the Vikings here, and I've learned lessons. I was dumb enough to have them on Monday, even though, like,
The world was on Seattle.
and they
Seattle
could, like,
covered.
there were so many. It was such a weird game, but I was thoroughly entertained.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
I was like thoroughly entertained, even
I'll take
through
that
all
over
the
54,
all the crap.
51 any day of the week.
But Miami's gonna get whooped after that.
We need to get them out of the AFC mix,
No,
too.
I
Like, get them out of
I
there.
love seeing that fish show up on the graphic.
I don't want to see them in there. That's a write-off game.
With the Howard injury, this is gonna be could lose him the teaser. I'm not willing to I wouldn't lay but yeah, this could be a real problem for the teaser. Minnesota is going to whoop the Dolphins here.
There it is. Minnesota for me. Minnesota for you. Minnesota for the
I
coin.
hate-
Miami for Tim.
The
The coin is just being flipped, so.
I know, I'm just joking, but I'd like to beat it. in the
But
end.
you want to be on the same side of the games you're going to get right. You
Yeah,
don't want to be
fine.
giving up the game here.
No, I'm not giving it up. I want him to be on the wrong side of the game.
Well,
I
we don't
think
know if it's a he or she. It's just L coin.
This is like usually where
It
Tim.
does have a picture of the Queen on it, so it could be a lady.
That's what we call Tim, the Queen. That's his nickname. Did you know that?
I'm not surprised the way he turncoats.
That is
on
not
lot
a
of his
nickname
tape.
anyone has ever called me.
Oakland at Cincinnati. I will make this short. I will make this brief. Actually, I won't because I was gonna continue listing off synonyms. However, West Coast team, early game, Cincinnati, Driscolley, Spicoli's brother. They both pronounce and spell their names differently. They could be related. I don't know. I will love Cincinnati here, -2.5.
I'm with you. Also, maybe a super lock when the show's over.
Coming off their Super Bowl win last week against
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. The east to west into the cold. They're high fiving the fans, Pat. Gruden's like walking the alley, like high fiving fans.
Gruden's coming out like he's Bret Hart. He's gonna give his visor to a lucky kid in the front row.
Oh my God. They're still listen. You can say what you want with the Bengals. They've been depleted with injuries. They're bad maybe to begin with, but they're playing hard at home. This line seems like I know we're banking on Driscoll. But
Oakland just beat Pittsburgh. Of course they're good.
Yeah.
Did you know that Derek Carr is having exactly the same season as he had during his MVP 2016?
I don't believe he's thrown an interception since week 5.
Yes, he's amazing. Derek Carr is amazing.
that was at the goal line versus the Chargers.
I think so. I mean, I remember reading that week 5 was his last interception. He's got this job for next year. He's not going anywhere.
No one thinks he's going anywhere.
That's not a topic. of
Well, early in the
conversation.
year, people were saying Gruden's going to throw this guy
So
over.
two teams that you love a lot coming into the year. Where are you going here, Tim? Two teams that took you forever to get off of both.
But he hasn't got off of Cincinnati though.
No,
Yes,
he
I
picked the
have.
Chargers last week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Chargers last
Finally
week.
bailed. You bailed on Oakland and they started covering games. Now you bailed on
I
Cincy.
picked
They
Oakland
started.
last week.
Oh, that's
I
right.
picked Oakland last week. I'm picking Oakland again this week. I just can't pick the Bengals. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't pick them because if I pick them, I think they're going to win.
I think this line goes up.
To what?
I don't know. I think people are going to realize
Oh,
that
I think
Oakland
this
is
game could go off with
bad
Raiders.
and that
-1.
this game is in Cincinnati.
I'm with him. I think more. I haven't looked at the money yet coming in on each side of the game. I bet you the money's on Oakland. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I think this game goes off Oakland like -1 because
I
now that they're
will-
through the key number, it can move all the way. Keep going.
I will have real money on the not like real like a lot. I mean, I'm not just picking the Bengals on the show. I'm actually think I'm going to bet money on them this week.
So far you really like Indy and Cincy and the Vikings. It sounds like.
Yeah, and maybe
the Chargers.
Denver. No. The Chargers Vikings teaser has me
Oh,
actually
A
packed.
Fienberg teaser?
Well, we'll see. We'll see towards the end of the show if we get a Fienberg teaser. Next game,
Make a note of it.
Tampa Bay and Baltimore. The line is 8. Lamar Jackson's been announced as the starter. Joe Flacco will back him up. So I don't think that they're going to go to the 2 QB system unless they just get down by a bunch, which is hard to see with this defense coming at Jameis. But the over-under is 46.5. Tampa's defense gives up almost 10 points more per game on the road than they do at home. The problem is, even though Baltimore is good, I like Baltimore to win this game. I don't think they're good enough unless the defense does the scoring to win by 8 or more, are they?
No, I feel the exact same way. That's why I'm taking the Buccaneers.
I'm taking the Buccaneers as well.
Like, if it was 7, you could talk me into the Ravens or 6.5. But at 8, man, I just think there's a little bit of value on the Buccaneers because this does have the makings of a 24-17, 23-16 type of game, right? And just then you want the points.
Yes, question, Jeffrey.
No, I have a comment I want to bring to this because on the surface you are probably right. But I was reading Walter Football this week and he was breaking down this game and he brought up a great point. 6 times this year, the Ravens have played offenses that you can deem one-dimensional, and they've beaten the crap out of all of them.
That's
the Bills
interesting.
week 1, 47-3. The Broncos week 3, 27-14. The Titans week 6, 21-0. The Raiders week 12, 34-17. And the Falcons 26-16. By double digits, they are playing one-dimensional offenses, and they are winning and really winning with style. This is the 4-pick game, Walter says.
For Jameis?
So
That's
by
what I thought it was
that,
going to be last week.
give me Baltimore.
I
At home, maybe a cold
I
game.
really like that.
They take care of these one-dimensional offenses. That makes total sense to me. I'm buying what I was sold there.
All right, and you
Maybe,
just,
but I think Tampa's got better weapons than any of those teams that you mentioned.
and that's not a bad point either.
Fair, but they're as one-dimensional. Are they
Sure,
not? Do
but
they even
that
try to run the
one-dimension-
ball?
Nah, they try. They don't do it well.
Yeah, I mean, Barber's actually not a bad player, but yeah. I don't know. I get that point. I can see how it would happen. I'm not super confident in it, but I just think when the game kicks off, I'm going to be happier with 8 points in my pocket than laying 8 points. That's all.
This would be a game I would want to tease down.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, I'm surprised it's not on your teaser.
Chargers, Vikings, Ravens.
I actually would have considered. I think you could actually tease it either way.
No, I don't think you'd want to. I think you'd want to bet the 8 and not put it on a teaser because if the game does get if this is the bad Jameis game, it gets going very poorly very quickly. Like I don't think necessarily.
then Ryan Fitzpatrick comes
I don't
in,
think
then
that. I don't think that
Ryan
15 is
comes in.
safe on a teaser.
Yeah, when Tampa's bad, it's just like
Yeah,
they
it's just
get
like, uh-oh.
yeah. There's
Oh,
no
then
like
Fitz-
safe. There's no
Fitz
safety net.
Fitz comes in, throws 3 touchdowns, and they lose by 3.
And then Baltimore, well, I don't know.
It's just I think this game is decided by a defensive touchdown if they cover this number or not.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
possibly.
And you can't bank on a defensive touchdown, so I'll take Tampa in the points.
But you might be able to bank on 3 turnovers because it's Tampa.
This is true. That could be 3
And
field
3
goals.
turnovers could equal. Yeah, that is more than the touchdown.
Both these teams run a lot of plays as well. Like the two overs that I was looking at, I talked about that Dallas and Indy game because Indy's so fast paced. The Jets and Houston over 41.5, I actually kind of like because the Jets play really, really quickly. And I think we mentioned this you mentioned like they came back towards the end, but in all of these games when Darnold has played, they play till 0-0-0-0 on the clock, whether they're down by 25 points or not. Like they're constantly trying to score touchdowns. So that's always good for an over. In this game, Tampa's offense could show up here. That'd be the one thing that, because I was thinking about this from like a DraftKings perspective earlier, that like no one is touching any of the Tampa players. But like Tim, your boy Hump Daddy, it seems like a good game for him. Brait, that the Ravens struggle against tight ends. Here's hope that it's not the Jameis terrible game, and all of a sudden you're looking a lot better.
I guess. I know these motivation gets overrated, like who needs it more, but Baltimore playing early knowing the Steelers are playing New England. There's that.
All right, let's go to the next game then. Tennessee
you're taking Tampa.
I'm taking Tampa. Tennessee at the Giants. The coin took Tampa as well. 2.5 is the line. It seems low. 43.5 is the over-under. I've actually bet well with Tennessee this year, although I seem to have no grasp of what team is going to show up. They've had 3 different, at least 2-game winning streaks during the season. They've had a 3-game losing streak, a 2-game losing streak. You don't really know what team's going to show up. They should be able to just run Derrick Henry up the middle. If they're able to do it against Jacksonville, they should be able to do it against the Giants, who have like the worst run defense in the league. But I'm going to take Tennessee here. They've already gone into Dallas and beat Dallas. They beat Pittsburgh earlier this season. They still have a game against Washington. They could go 4-0 against the NFC East this year. So could the Colts. Like, it's really weird. So I like Tennessee to win this game outright. They need it, too. Like, they can keep themselves in the mix here in the AFC. And the Giants have a top 10 offense over the last month. They've looked really good, but, like, they've had consecutive games with defensive touchdowns. You'd think they might be able to slow Barkley just a little bit. I don't know how healthy Beckham's going to be, whether he plays or not. Just seems like everyone's kind of buying into the Giants right now, and I'm surprised about this line. I think this line will entice a lot of people to bet on the Giants, but I'll take the Titans.
I love the Giants in this game too. I have to say, I'm enticed. What we're seeing here, I think this week, last few weeks, the Giants is positive regression before our eyes. Giants were not the team that they were when they went into San Francisco at 1-7. They were a better team than that. They're closer to an 8-8, 9-7 type of team. They're not going to finish with that record, but they are a competitive team. They play you tough week in, week out. I think that Barkley should be able to run right through the Titans, just as I think, you're like you said, Derrick Henry should be able to run through the Giants. For that reason, I think it's going to be a very run-heavy game. I think the under is the play here. I don't think this game gets to 43.5. I think it's low scoring, very tight. But in the end, I think that the Giants will make enough plays at home. I've seen the Giants play recently. The game against the Bears, the crowd was into that game. They wanted to win, even though the season was over. So, people are coming to the Meadowlands for these games. I like the spot. I think Tennessee this year we've seen that extra long break on Thursdays really hasn't been a benefit for the teams coming off of it. I just think that the Titans walk into this game maybe underestimating the Giants a little bit, and I think the Giants knock them out.
I don't think Tennessee's walking into any game overlooking opponents.
They're looking at a team that's 5-8. Like, this is not their big game. They have bigger games left on the schedule the last couple of weeks. There's some divisional games. Like, this is not a game that's high on their radar.
The divisional games don't mean anything really to them except for the Indianapolis game.
Well, they do because they're AFC games.
Sure, but they need the wins. The wins are really what they need here. They lose this game, they're almost done.
I think they can win this game relatively easy.
Why would you think that?
I'm just telling you what I believe.
Yeah, but I don't understand how you get to that.
No, I disagree because the tape they're looking at is of the last month, and the Giants have been a much better team. So I don't really have an opinion. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to take the Giants.
Taking the Giants.
So I think everyone just sees this under, like, Titans getting points. We're just awesome in prime time.
Awesome in prime time. They beat some.
They need it
They beat
more,
the Patriots.
so,
They've went into Dallas and beat Dallas. Like, they're a weird team.
Their best football is
shutout.
Their best.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah, they are. There's Jekyll and Hyde as anybody, because when they play their best, they show they can compete with anybody, but they also have this ugly side. I don't know. I hate this game. I'm picking the Giants.
If the Giants could generate better pass rush now that Conklin's been put on IR, that maybe you could rattle Mariota. Mariota-san, as Tim likes to call him, has been very good over the past month. Like, very, very good.
I really...
His numbers against the Jets are inflated. He played god-awful for most of that game, and the Jets let him back in it by just being poorly coached. Like, Mariota's performance there was not indicative of anything, I don't think.
Nothing against the Jets is ever the Jets' fault. If you play well against the Jets, it's the Jets' fault that you played so well. It's not indicative of anything. If Sam Darnold throws an interception, it's not on Sam. It's on everyone else.
Do you think the Chargers could be saving a fake punt because they haven't done one?
No,
in like
they
5
just
years?
don't do them.
Why would the Chargers do anything like that on special teams? They can't get the nuts and bolts right. Why in heaven's name?
Back-to-back
if the
weeks,
head coach
AFC
calls
Special
that play-
Teams Player of the Year. Do you know that? Of the week.
Well, the
Great.
kicker made
If
like
he-
a
if the head
58-yarder,
coach
didn't he? That's only
calls
building you up, by the way. So when he
Yeah.
misses the 21, when he misses the extra point to win the game in the playoffs,
Money
Money
Badger might
The
be good.
Money Badger.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
It's
weren't
not a
you the
question
one?
of what-
Weren't you the one DMing me how solid he is, pal?
Yes, and then you immediately jump down my throat for saying
'Cause he
so.
just- two extra
'cause
points in a
you
row.
shouldn't say anything because you know you're cursed.
I don't believe that, but it does seem like it's not a question of if, but when some horrible thing on special teams will derail a playoff game.
You know who's great on special teams? The Jets.
Yes, number one team in football. Great that Bulls found a way to waste that great special teams performance.
So Tennessee is what the coin is taking. Final game of the early slate, Washington
Might be worse.
at Jacksonville. This has to be the lowest total of the year, 36.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this game's going to be like 35-30.
These were two teams I might
That's
have wanted
not
to.
possible.
These are two.
You underrate Josh Johnson, sir.
I might have
right,
wanted
I
to
do.
bet on these two teams if they were playing other teams. Is that weird?
You like the spot for both them?
Kind of.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
How can you like the Skins here? I mean, make that case for me because
I
they are
can.
just.
I'm
Josh
gonna
Johnson,
take.
he runs in
I'm
circles,
gonna
then
take-
runs up the field.
I'm gonna take Jacksonville, but I have no case, and I don't even care to talk.
I mean, the
about
Jags
it.
2 weeks ago shut the Colts out. Like the Jags still have a good defense. They should be able
taking the
to
Jags.
take care of what Washington's throwing out there. That should be enough. Just on that matter of the fact, we're teasing the Jags down to a pick, and they'll be the fourth end of the money line tease.
Jacksonville.
The teaser over.
Is that
No,
the-
one more.
Oh, there's still one more. This is -7, by the way, for Jacksonville at home.
Crazy.
I'm not giving the
Kessler
Jags. I'm
laying
not giving the
7.
Jags a touchdown to win by. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm
I
taking
just
Washington.
promised myself like a month,
Me and the coin are holding our nose and taking Washington here,
5 weeks ago.
banking on the first pick of the AIFL. What the league called?
AAFL.
Anyway, there's
Yeah,
a
they
reason
took-
that Josh Johnson was the first pick.
San Diego
He's
Fleet.
so good.
I think since the injuries started for Washington, I've picked against them. In the first game, couple games they covered, but they haven't since.
Yeah, they were better with Colt McCoy. as it
McCoy
turns out.
and even they had the injury. Smith was still in there. Like the Tampa game was still Smith.
Like Jordan Reed's probably not going to play in this game, which Tim, if Jordan Reed misses the rest of the year, I got 3 games for Vernon Davis to go nuts. Maybe this is the game.
Listen, if you don't think I know that, you're crazy. I keep a very, very close eye on what Vernon Davis is doing. I have Google Alerts set up.
Fifth
You
string.
don't know how to set up a
fifth
Google
string
alert, by
ti-
the way. That's just something you heard someone do at a point in time, and now you're pretending that you can do it.
You don't know that to a certainty.
I do know that to a certainty. Please describe for us how you set up a Google alert.
Don't need to, don't want to explain. Don't need to. I don't need to prove myself.
He was
I
wa-
know how to do things.
He was walking away from the computer again. You can't even sit next to your computer. Now it sounds like you're from across the room.
No, I haven't moved again. There's something going
Now,
on.
now you're leaning into the computer so you can be louder. I know what you're doing.
No, you don't.
Doesn't need to explain himself.
His
So
file photo like is transfixing.
just to stare at it,
Yeah.
he looks nuts in that picture. Should we replace that for the new year?
I agree.
I like the one of him wearing the cam hat. Late games. There's only 2. I guess everyone they're sort of playing ISO ball here for Patriots and Steelers. But
Yeah, it's almost like America's game of the week, aka Fox in their 4:00 game, like threw up the white flag.
Well, I think
here.
this. I don't know if they blocked this game from going into the Sunday nighter or what happened, but I feel like this is a CBS game, right? Two AFC teams.
Yeah, it's CBS, but like I don't think.
Yeah,
NBC
it would have been protected, but I think 2-3 weeks ago they were still happy with Rams Eagles. That was a East Coast West Coast.
I still think they are
full country game.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right. Anyway, Seattle at San Francisco. Let's do that one first.
I hate
4.5 home dog. San Francisco 43.5 is the over under. Doug Baldwin may or may not play. Pierre Garçon out for the year. A lot going on here. Matt Breida may return.
I know we're getting not an A effort from Seattle, but would it be enough to
not cover?
Because this is a bit of a sandwich game, Pat, when you consider the big Monday night game that probably solidified their wild card spot on Monday. Not locked, but hold on. And then there's this game. And then next week they play Kansas City at home, which is going to be a big...
It's a nice test.
It's going to be that...
It'll be ultimately a meaningless game.
As good as the Seahawks are, have they beaten a team better than them this year?
Dallas, maybe, but that was old Dallas.
Have they beaten a team? I don't think they did.
The Broncos?
They played very well
against the Broncos.
They played very well against the Rams twice. They played very well against the Chargers.
Played okay against the Chargers.
He's not moving.
No, I'm looking up the teams that they have beaten who might be better than them.
I'll keep it short and simple. Short week for Seattle. I know it's not long, but they've already blown out San Francisco this year. It was 2 weeks ago. Generally speaking, you don't blow out the same team twice in your division. I'll take the home dog. I'll take San Francisco.
I'm with you. I was hoping we were getting more points.
Yeah, but San Francisco won.
And this feels really short and like...
This will go up as the week goes along.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it should give you more confidence.
I would agree.
Better than them is Dallas.
When did they play Dallas?
3.
No one can make out what you're saying, Tim. Just stay still.
Week 3.
Okay, so that was like last year.
Yeah, that was pre Cooper Dallas and pre awesome defense Dallas.
Sure, I'm just saying that's
at home or on the road too.
It was at home.
Week 2, yeah. Anyway, I'm taking San Francisco. You're taking San Francisco, Geoff?
Yeah, I don't love it. This is for sure a no bet. I think it's a bad spot game for Seattle.
You know what? If you want to bet it, bet San Francisco.
But you're not laying enough points here.
Coin likes the Niners too. Tim?
Yeah, I think this is a classic home dog spot. This is a classic Las Vegas. The world loves Seattle.
It's our only consensus.
Yeah,
as a home dog. This is a spot where I think the books are going to make a lot of money because there's a lot of people who are going to have money line parlays and teasers connected through the Seahawks and bets through the Seahawks, and the Seahawks will be the ones that crush them. Plus, there's only 2 games on the late afternoon slate, so people are going to feel like compelled to bet.
Yeah, they've got to bet it.
Both games, they got to bet them both, and so the Seahawks will be where the money comes in. And I just think the Niners are that classic trappy spot, and so I like it.
Just a reminder that the odds and lines are subject to change. See a website for actual odds. And if you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Guess what we discovered? We recorded the Christmas Cuss Corner yesterday. It's like an hour and 40-something minutes.
What'd you get?
So that's my present to all of you for Christmas Day is a new Cuss Corner. But Tim...
Give me something.
Tim told us he's back on the scratch tickets.
You should buy one of those like packs that have like... Really, Tim? Back on them?
One. I bought one 2 Sundays ago when I was picking up my pro lines, and I ended up winning $20 on it.
Hey, good for you. Listen, you, by the way...
He is a pro scratch ticket player.
I want to talk about this because you cut it.
You need to cut it.
Because you cut it and you've already teased it. You are crazy when you think like your grocer's freezer is the restaurant, man.
That's in the Cuss Corner.
Yeah, I saw you cut that preview clip out. Sort of tease people for Christmas Day is coming. You're nuts.
But that's how he's judging TGI Fridays is based on their potato skins that he found at the grocery store in the what he calls the freezer section.
I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to defend Fridays. I'm not here to do that either. But.
No, Fridays doesn't need to be defended. It's not good.
Yeah.
But to judge it that way seems very disingenuous.
If the food can't be replicated to the point where it can't be sent out with the same ingredients, same flavors, that you heat up. If it's not good, then it's not good. I'm sorry. I think it's not a 1-for-1 comparison, but it's within spitting distance.
No, I
It's
don't
close.
think what they're serving in the restaurant has freezer burn.
Also, how did you prepare and cook the potato skins, Tim?
Don't
I
say
put
it.
them in the microwave.
Oh God! And like, come on!
Well, I was hungry. I didn't have time to put them in the stove.
See, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt and ask him if he cooked them in the oven or not, which, a sensible person bringing stuff home would, which is also not how you get them at TGI Fridays. They throw them in the fucking deep fryer.
No, that's true. That's fair enough. But anyway.
Man.
They definitely don't microwave their frozen potato skins.
Well, but listen, sometimes you're in a hurry and you put your
Is
your
anyone
potato
in that
skins
big of a
or
hurry?
your nachos or your chicken wings or whatever, you put them in the microwave.
Oh,
and
no,
get it done.
no. Don't put your
Can I
nachos
ask a
in the
question?
microwave.
Yeah, that's gross too. But he always
You end up with the cheese that's not like melted on. It's like
Why you
fused
always
on.
Why you always seem to be in a hurry?
Yeah, we've as we discovered on this to preview that Cuss Corner, Tim spends most of his time standing in lines. Because he has so much fucking free time on his hands. He's actually
Yeah.
talking right now, but he's 80 feet away from his computer.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Are you get mad at like the lady at the front of the line who has questions when you're just
No, because no one has more questions than Tim.
Yeah, but Tim's
No,
got his,
I actually don't mind unless I'm like in a real rush. Then whatever. Then I'll just like I've got earphones in. I'm listening to whatever. Like let them take their time. I'm not like the world doesn't revolve around me.
Here's the thing. If you're in such a rush that you have to go to the grocery store to buy potato skins from TGI Fridays, and you have such little time that you then have to drive home to microwave them, why wouldn't you just go to like McDonald's?
No, but like it's not like I ate them the same day or anything. I bought them because
You thought this out in
walked
advance?
by-
You thought, hey, that looks good. I don't know where you make that leap to begin with, but
I
whoa.
walked down the freezer aisle. I saw them. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen those before. I'm buying them. And I throw them in my shopping cart. And then I put them in my freezer. And then one day I opened up and I was hungry. And I was like, I'll have these. And I didn't want to wait. So I just threw them in the microwave because I was hungry.
do they even have microwave? Like, are they're not probably not even supposed to be microwave.
Yeah, are there instructions on the bag as here's how you cook them in the microwave?
I have no idea. This was
Yeah,
a few
that-
years ago. I just
I
fired
would
them in the
think those
microwave.
weren't-
Eated it.
Yeah, like no. Some things are. They say like, the oven is probably better, but if you want the microwave, this is how.
That's like mini pizzas, right? Where they have recommendations.
Yeah.
for
Oh
the
no,
oven,
you
but they
can't.
also
You
have
can't. Yeah, you
microwave.
can't put mini pizzas in the microwave either. You
I
get,
put those in the oven.
You
They're
get
just
you get soggy
and
in the
gross.
microwave. Yeah, you get to crisp them
I
up.
Yeah, you
would
gotta
agree.
crisp
They
them.
are better in the oven. I've had them both ways.
I'll
Depends
wait.
on how
I'll wait it out.
hungry I am, but if you can wait, they are better.
No, they're just like smoking hot and like flimsy when you put them in the.
Yeah, they're real soggy. Did you also see that
Gross.
Tim was out on cookie dough?
Who's
Who's out on cookie
that for
dough?
a long time. I've been out on that for a long time.
That seems crazy to me.
It's supposed to be cooked. That's why it's called dough, because it's raw. I don't eat raw eggs. I don't eat steak tartare.
Hold on. What's wrong with steak tartare?
I don't like raw foods. I like foods that are cooked. God
So-
forbid that I like
So
that.
you're just completely out on
Mm,
sushi too?
I despise sushi. I like.
Have you ever
food
had
that are cooked.
sushi?
I have indeed, and did
Have
not
you?
like it. Yes, I
Have you
have.
actually? Because I don't believe
Of
you.
course I have. Of course I have, because it's a fad, and everyone goes on about how great sushi is. So
Is
I like
sushi a fad?
A fad.
Oh yes, it's become okay. Well, it seems like to me it's become a fad.
Because-
And I was like, I like fish, so I
Is
said,
that
I'll
like
try it.
Chinese
Is it a-
food? A fad?
No,
Oh,
th- Chinese food is a staple.
To you. Sushi is the staple for other people. People love sushi.
I get that people love sushi. I cannot stand it. I think it's gross. I like cooked food, and so cookie dough for me is one of the. When I was
Loves-
growing up, I
gets
could
a
never
good
have
sushi.
cookie dough.
I'm
you also
all
get some,
in on
like-
cookie dough. It's one of the few things that like I will allow myself to really splurge on when it comes to
No,
like,
I
breaking
was
diet.
when I was young. I was not allowed to touch the dough. It had to wait till it was cooked.
We also found out on this corner that Tim hasn't evolved past the age of 6. Whatever he did when he was 6, he does now. He has not updated himself with the times whatsoever. That's why he's still wearing like bell bottoms.
I
I'm
think
not
my
wearing bell
wardrobe is updated, but I'm very much like a 10-year-old man child.
Really? You're a father.
I know, but like the foods I like, the things I like.
Do you and your daughter bond about your similar diets?
No, but I'll hit up. I love being able to hit up that kids menu. It's usually got all the things I like on it.
My wife still does the kids menu too. She doesn't want a big meal.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your go-to McDonald's order?
Depends how like hungry.
Let's say
I
you're
am.
hungry. Let's say you just smoked a big fat joint.
No, like I'm really hungry.
Yeah, like you demand food right now. You're
It'd be
starving,
like
and not only are you starving, you're in the mood for McDonald's. What
It'd
do you
be
get?
like a 10 nugget meal and a cheeseburger.
Okay, I would go 10 nugget meal as well. No pop because I don't. Like
The buns on those cheeseburgers, I don't know.
I don't do.
where-
I do the junior chicken.
It's the same.
Along with I get a
guess it's
side
the
of junior chicken, the 10-piece supersized nugget meal, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get 2 junior chickens.
So I'm very specific. For me, it's a McDouble, no ketchup, a McChicken, extra McChicken sauce, a medium fries, and a fountain pop with a small fries to eat in the car on the way home.
If you
Sorry, so why didn't you just say a McChicken meal with a double cheeseburger?
I guess I don't order it that way.
But you just
I
ordered
suppose-
every part of the meal.
he's probably ordering
I
them all
can-
independently too and paying more.
I guess that would be a McChicken, junior chicken meal, with a McDouble on the side. Oh, and I used to not get the junior chicken. That because
He said McChicken. Now he gets.
Sorry, I
confused.
meant to say junior chicken. But I didn't used to get the
Okay.
junior chicken before. I used to go with 2 of the crispy chicken wraps, but they had to be buffalo ones, and they got rid of the buffalo ones, and all they have is ranch ones left. And ranch is, of course, a trash dressing that only can be enjoyed by nobody. It's because it's garbage. So I won't eat the ranch ones, and the chipotle ones are too sweet. And so I'm like, I can't eat the crispy chicken wraps anymore. And so I had to substitute those for a junior chicken. So.
Quick tip to anyone looking to drop like 10 to 15 pounds
Yeah, I'm
real
listening.
quickly.
Cut out McDonald's.
No. McDonald's is fine. Everything in moderation is fine.
Yeah.
Fountain pop will
Oh.
kill you.
Well, pop in general.
Pop in general, yes. Fountain pop
The
is
Fountain
like
Coke at
5.
McDonald's is so good.
It's
Fountain
the
pop,
best pop.
Fountain,
in the
pop, is,
so
fountain
good.
pop is disgusting.
No, it's the
It's
better.
syrup
The
and
Coke at
water.
McDonald's
You
is
might.
so good.
By the way, you want to
it's crack.
mimic fountain pop at home.
Yeah.
Pour a can of Coke into a glass. Go hit up Aunt Jemima and just pour it in.
No, I get
That's
it.
what it is.
It's like they've liquefied sugar.
Yeah.
Is essential. Like
That's exactly what it is.
The-
They add a
yeah.
little bit of water to expand it. Like it's actually calorie wise, it's like 5 times as worse for you.
I would
and
tell
the
you
sugar
this.
content is out of control.
McDonald's ketchup, I think might be the same because it seems like
yeah.
exponentially
Now, ketchup
saltier.
is also
but
a
it's,
terrible condiment.
McDonald's sauce, top notch.
oh, the
Oh, yeah,
sweet-
their
the
McChicken
barbecue
sauce is
Barbecue,
great.
sweet and sour, even their honey, it's all the extra sugar that's in it. But their ketchup
Their
is top
syrup
notch.
that I put on their hotcakes, man, their syrup is fantastic.
What's your go-to breakfast order? Or do you say, screw that, give me the meal? Because you can order breakfast anytime. Have you ever ordered breakfast at any time? Because I haven't.
When I like it first
When it first came out,
and it
you
was
were all
like a thing,
gung-ho,
like,
but
yeah,
have you ever walked into
yeah.
McDonald's at like
Not really.
drunk at 1 o'clock in the
Because I
morning and
did
be like,
like
oh, give
one
me some
time-
hash browns?
No, but like I think like the first time they did it, yada yada, and then I had like an egg McMuffin at like 3 p.m, and it tasted like it'd been sitting in the drawer since.
Of
Because it
course
has-
it has.
I guarantee
morning.
that's how Tim likes it, though.
So
Has it been
no,
sitting
like-
around for 8
so
hours?
Actually, like I have not since that. I'm like, you know what? Like I respect what they're trying to do, but they're not putting the effort into these products, and they're not getting sold enough. Like at least like the nuggets, like they sell enough where that trays they gotta like fresh batch them. You know what I'm
Their
saying?
hotcakes and sausage are great. I grew up on
Listen,
Sundays.
I've said this
having
to Sid.
McDonald's hotcakes.
Tim thinks McDonald's is the best pancakes in the world. I said this
They're
to him last
so good.
year.
But he also loves IHOP, but not for the pancakes.
My response to thinking McDonald's have the best pancakes in the world makes me think like you haven't been loved enough. Someone who no, I'm just saying. I don't know how
Someone who loves you would cook you better pancakes than I.
Yeah.
We go to a French place for brunch during non-football season because I'm not.
Oh.
I'm no brunch on a Sunday morning type man.
I hate those
In fact,
places.
I have. Oh man, they're so good.
No, but like you see
They're
these
awful.
lines and
Oh yeah, the
people
lines are
in
out of
the
control. You need to
lines.
pick the right day to go. But they make excellent blueberry. I mean, you can get crepes or pancakes. I like pancakes, so I get the pancakes. But getting blueberry pancakes. We decided they make some sort of like duck mash that you can have with potatoes and ducks too. It's out of this
The
world.
concept of brunch I absolutely love, but I hate like
I don't.
lining up and like the whole like
I don't do lines.
Scene.
Unlike Tim,
That
I'm
is
very
like,
anti-line.
and a
I don't
lot
go
of-
to
but you know
anywhere
what I
that
mean,
has
like
a line.
in the city where we live. Like, is it?
Yeah, there are places that you can go that have lines. We just don't go there. We go to somewhere
Okay,
else.
good.
It's still breakfast when it comes down to it. I don't need to wait an hour to get in for brunch. I'm hungry
No.
now.
Okay,
Breakfast
well,
is breakfast, lunch is lunch. I don't need the mixture.
What's better to you, Burger King or Wendy's?
Wendy's.
Yeah, it's not
not
close,
even
right?
close. Like, not even close.
I hate to admit it, but it is Wendy's.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Burger
Burger
King. Burger
King?
King
No, no.
Is Burger King the nut low?
Yeah, it is. It is the absolute nut low. Okay, we don't have like I wouldn't even try it. White Castle's apparently like the nuttest low.
Yeah, but Tim,
They're sliders because I used to buy them at 7-Eleven. I could pop those in the microwave.
that's not
and
going to White Castle. You're microwaving frozen
They
white.
were delicious.
Do you think when you go to White Castle they served you microwave burgers?
I very much doubt that.
Either way,
So you've just never been there.
in Canada it is the nut low. Because
Is
we
it?
don't
I mean, I
we
think
don't have a
it-
lot of the lower end fast food chains like that are in America.
Yes.
It's kind of my point. That
Was
they'll-
it worse than Arby's?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I
can
like
be-
Arby's.
I don't like Arby's, but if I'm feeling especially bad about myself, I can have an Arby's.
I like Arby's. Unfortunately,
Get a
there's
big-
not
big-
one.
I will
there
take
is
a
not-
big beef and cheddar over anything that they
There is
have.
not
thing
an
about Burger King is
Arby's
that their Whopper
within.
is good.
There's not an
I don't
Arby's
give
within
them
an
that.
hour of us.
Also, the problem with Arby's, the reason it's so low in general is like the cheese whiz they put on the burgers, which is just disgusting.
And it's
Oh, I don't
gross,
mind
but
that.
I think
Of course you
Whiz.
don't.
I think Whiz is one of the more underrated condiments
Oh,
that enough
oh.
places aren't
Oh,
putting
no,
in
no,
action.
no, no.
When I said
There was
I
a
use it
burger
now-
chain.
No,
There was a burger
But
chain in
that-
the States, Fuddruckers, that like you could pump your Whiz.
Oh,
I love that
does-
shit.
no wonder
That
everyone's
does sound-
fat in
that
America.
does sound good.
That's
Oh.
why me and Tim are large, man. We're into
I am
pumping
willing to
Whiz.
assert though. I think Arby's is worse because much as I don't like Burger King, I think their Whopper holds up. Nothing else there
Okay,
does.
maybe.
Is there
I think
is
the
their
Whopper-
Whopper good enough that you would go to Burger King just to get a Whopper?
No, but if you're asking
They
me what's the
they
worst,
like give nuggets away, Pat.
Yeah, like
They're
99
10
cents
for a
20.
toonie and shit. Like,
That's great.
I
So
wouldn't touch
there's a
that.
bur-
I wouldn't
so
touch
there's a
that. And their
burger-
sauces suck. They can't
There's a
even
Burger King
disguise
near,
the
like-
bad nugget. Their shit
there's
sauce.
a bunch of like chain restaurants in a row nearby, and like so there's Burger King and there's all of them, and Burger King always had ads like coffee $1, and the McDonald's line is long, and the Tim Hortons line is long, and there is nobody going through Burger King,
Yeah.
and like they have big like really good deals, like. And yet, I wonder. Now that we're mentioning it, do you think A&W is worse than?
No.
No,
I-
A&W's
I-
actually might be on the higher
I was gonna say
end
of
fast food.
underrated fast food places, A&W is on there.
It seems like they're making an effort to sort of
Class up
be
their act.
a higher
Also-
end with how they
And
advertise
Harvey's-
their
and-
ingredients.
above them?
And there's, you know what?
A&W good breakfast.
Yeah, better
Cheap,
hash
good
brown
breakfast.
too. I saw this as a tease thing. I cannot stand the plastic, the paper straw. I'm losing my mind. I'm
Oh,
losing
they're
my
awful.
mind.
I'm gonna get Tim a metal straw for Christmas so he can bring it around with him.
Awful.
Honestly, maybe because
He's told us he's hoarding straws.
I think about it. Maybe I might have to go to.
How often
See?
are you using straws?
Not enough. I guess when I have
When they're gone, you'll wish you had more.
these, I had A&W, and they're one of these like earth conscious places.
Okay.
And they're onto paper straw, and it like evaporates in your
It's
your
awful.
drink. It is no. I
I
can't.
think Harvey's might be lower than
Harvey's is
No.
like a very regionalized Canadian burger
Yeah.
chain. Like that's not on the same level here.
Nothing. It's not lower
Okay.
than Burger King. There's not a chance.
Okay, all right.
But A&W, I think, has done a good rebranding job. Is A&W
Yeah.
everywhere, or is that
They've
just
kind of spent a fortune to show up everywhere, at least in this city.
no? Is A&W?
No.
It's everywhere, like in the world, right?
Yes, but they're different.
I could just be Canadian. I have no
I
idea.
think it's mainly
No, they do
Canadian.
exist in the States, but they're a different type of chain there. Like they had an AW at the Mall of America when we were there,
Did
and
they?
I scoped it out, and like it seemed like the burgers didn't have the same names as the ones we have here. Like they weren't the family burgers.
And I can't lie, I can't wait to be in Florida around Christmas because I need to hit up some of those fast food joints. I need Chick-fil-A.
What would be
in
your
my
for
life.
you? Chick-fil-A would be.
Well,
Tim,
when I go
Tim,
to-
Tim hates Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and he also
somehow.
hates In-N-Out because he's an idiot.
He's also never been to In-N-Out.
Because he
I don't
doesn't
eat
like that other people like it who have been there. So he
Yes,
just has to
so he
hate it.
hates it.
What a weird concept. Oh, I'm hungry.
You know, if you're going to the South, go to Waffle House.
Waffle House is great.
The last time,
you-
the last time Tim and I were at a Waffle House together, and I had to go pass out in the parking lot because I ate too much.
I'm a big fan of grits.
I was trying to get. They asked me if I wanted hash browns. They serve like it's not like the McDonald's hash browns.
Yeah, it's
like
like
the
a
hash.
potato hash. Yeah.
So I was like, do you want the medium, the large, or the small? I was like, just give me a small. I don't want much, man. It was like the entire plate full of hash browns. It was ridiculous. Great value. Cam would love Waffle House.
Man. Oh, that was a good conversation.
Let's get to the next
I'm
game.
kind of hungry now.
Well, I mean, if you're too hungry, just throw some skins in the microwave.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, whatever.
New England at Pittsburgh.
Can you allow me, once you give the game, can you let me go first?
Sure. Pittsburgh is a 1.5 point favorite. I'm picking Pittsburgh.
Can you say
I want to
why?
talk about the Patriots for a moment. Oh, that was such a great ending to Sunday. It couldn't happen to a worse team. Yet again, Belichick makes terrible decisions at the end of the game that costs his. This time he actually had to pay the price for it. Tom Brady lost the game for his team in the first half, essentially by panicking and throwing and then taking a sack when they didn't have a timeout, didn't know the score, didn't know the situation. The Dolphins went up and down the field on them, and they think that they can. I mean, I said it on Twitter. That game was all you need to know is that they are not a serious competitor in the AFC playoffs. They're probably not going to win their first game. This was great. You want to see a team that's on the ropes and
this
dying.
Happens. You make the same soliloquy every single year.
I don't want to monologize.
And every single year, they just come back from the dead and make you look foolish.
They certainly look like a dead team walking.
Dead. And what's their record?
They have 4 losses.
They're
they're
9-4.
9-4. I think they'll lose this game. They'll be 9-5, and then they have 2 games left against the Bills and the Jets.
If only this season was 20 games, the Jets could catch them. No.
Well, I mean, the Jets will never lose again.
No, if only this season had another month to it.
Oh, they still might catch them somehow. They'll get extra games. The league will give them back games.
I should give them their due that at home they're still a very formidable force.
See, the Patriots are so bad, they might just quit and never play again because they know they're not good.
So bad on the road, you can't pick them in any game on the road against a half-decent team. And they're playing the Steelers on the road. Steelers are a half-decent team. You just can't pick the Patriots. You got to take the Steelers here. The fact that the Steelers aren't favored is actually kind of silly. I'm going to take the Steelers, and I'm going to be pretty good. But I think Steelers are going to win by 3 points to 7 points. I think they're the play. I think lots of points will be scored because neither defense can stop the other. But in the end, I don't trust the Patriots to make smart decisions on the road in clutch spots. I expect them to make mistakes, and I think they will.
Here's a problem, Geoff. I liked Pittsburgh too before he went on. But now it seems like the Patriots might be very reverse cursed here. Yeah, I've won a lot of money over the years betting against the curse. Well, I think I'm going to have to switch to New England. Can you sell me on New England?
This is easy, Pat. Brady off a loss. Point Patriots. Brady playing a team that he dominates and allows linebackers to cover your good receivers. Point Patriots. Brady favored by less than a field goal. 12-4 ATS is a favorite of 1 to 2.5 points. This Patriots all day. Roethlisberger might not even be healthy.
Yeah.
Please. He's such a prima donna, though. He does this twice a year.
I agree. The Steelers could have that 59 in their bag.
I think you may have swayed me over this curse thing. Just the Patriots are dead. The Patriots can't win a game. That's so. You think you'd learn? You said you just called them a dead team. You said that 3 minutes ago.
Said it for 5 years.
You called them a dead team. Your quote.
I think they don't have a chance to win the AFC. I don't. I don't think they're a serious competitor. I don't see what world they go into Arrowhead right now and beat the Chiefs. How does that happen? You explain it to me. How's that going to happen?
They've already beat the Chiefs this year.
At home in a wild 43-40 game.
So we know. They can put up the points against Kansas City.
At home, they can play some good football. On the road, they are a top 10.
Well, guess what they got to do? They got to win so they could have a bye and play that playoff game that you're determined they're going to lose at home.
Well, they better win because if the Texans indeed beat the Jets,
so they
lose the game, they don't get the bye anymore, and then they really are done.
Yeah, they're finished.
So
Well,
this
Count them out.
Two road games. in the
They
playoffs.
might as well just quit.
next year, this time, the Jets will have clinched the division by now.
I certainly hope so. Jets or Bills, I suppose, because both have really good.
But
quarterbacks.
Miami's so good. You're ranting about how great Miami is.
Yeah, but Miami is not a team constructed for the future. Miami is a team constructed for the here and now.
That's
they?
really sad.
Are they?
Well, they don't have a ton of future prospects on the offensive side of the ball.
It is a
Quarterback
lack.
has been playing for 10 years and with no heir apparent in the works and no good pick to get one. Like this, the Dolphins are who they are for the time being. They have good players on the defensive side. I like, but
Oh, I got to go against the curse here. I'm going to take New England. Well, I'm with you, Jeff. The coin's taking Pittsburgh along with Tim. The coin doesn't know they're cursed, though.
black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
What year do you think that song came out?
2010.
What was the Packers Super Bowl year?
2010. That's the year they beat us in the AFC Championship game.
What happened to Road Mark Sanchez that day?
The referees missed holding call after a holding call.
Wasn't Mark Sanchez?
He was mounting a furious comeback in the game. We were down. We were shut out in the first half. We went on this crazy run in the second half.
Have the Jets ever lost a game that was their fault ever? Or is it the league's fault or the ref's fault or the coach's fault that they intentionally screwed it up?
The year before when they were up 17-6 on the Colts in the AFC Championship game, and then the Colts just rallied and beat their brains in and won the game 34-17.
Sunday nighter, Philly and the Rams. Nick Foles starting for the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. Rams favored by 10.5 at home. 53.5 is the over-under. Primetime game. I like the Rams to demolish the Eagles. I will take the Los Angeles Rams coming off a loss, back at home in the warm weather. Goff looks good in this game because Philly ain't stopping no one.
This is going to be a beatdown, sort of like what happened when Philly played the Saints, I want to say. They just got overwhelmed. I want to change. Give me Arizona.
You're going to take Arizona?
I need a dog. I need a dog of some semblance. So I'm going with Arizona. I think the Rams are going to beat them down home, comfort zone Sunday night. After looking horrible on Sunday night, they're going to lay whooping. This line, what do you have it at even?
10.5.
I mean, it was like 8 with Wentz.
Is that what it was?
I was
I didn't
really
even look at the
excited to lay on that because I feel the same how the game is going to go. A couple comments.
Let's also, outside of the Super Bowl, Nick Foles has been horrible as Philadelphia's quarterback.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship game, he played fantastically.
What was the score of that game?
34-7.
Was it? Was that big of a beatdown?
Yeah, it was a crushing of the Vikings. Yeah.
But wasn't that a Keenum pick six? And then
There was one of those, but Foles himself played a picture-perfect game.
So he's played 2 good games as the Eagles quarterback.
2 great
I
games.
take
And then
it.
earlier this year, he played.
And did what? Played what? Poorly? Yeah, we remember.
Well, he didn't play poorly. I mean, he won
he-
both of his games.
No, he went into Tampa and lost in week 2
Did they?
and
Okay.
looked
I mean,
horrible.
obviously
And
beat
he
the
didn't.
Falcons
And he
on
didn't look
opening
good
night.
against the Falcons.
Yeah, he beat the Falcons opening night, and yeah, fair enough. He week 2 against the Buccaneers, he had a 72% completion percentage.
What was, what was the score of that
touchdowns.
game? What was it, like 24-10 or something?
They lost.
334 yards and a
The Bucs
touchdown,
are
no
2-0 or
interception.
3-0. They lost.
Yeah, I think it was a
The
loss.
Bucs started.
The
The
Bucs-
Bucs were up by a bunch in that game. So that's all garbage time numbers.
I think this Sean. I'm trying to think who said it. I want to say it was Coward who I was listening to this week. He brought up a great.
You mean Tim,
Yeah, he brought up
the
a
coward?
He brought up a great point as it pertains to Sean McVay. That every coach's room in the league probably despises this guy.
Of course.
Like every.
It's not his fault though.
No,
It's not. Like when people were going crazy that he knew all the players on the Bears defense last week. He's supposed to know. It wasn't him who made a big deal
Thank
of
you
it.
for bringing that
No,
up.
but maybe he should have spent a little bit more time diagramming, successful plays rather than showing
That
off.
was
I
one
would
of
feel
the
like
most-
knowing who's on the defense is part of diagramming
That-
the plays.
that was one of-
and he was able to squeeze a full 6 points out of that. So
that
I
was
guess
one of the most.
Yeah, but it wasn't him. Like, do you see what I'm trying to say
Yes,
here?
that was one of the most.
He's not like, hey, look at me, look what I know. It's he said it, and then people went crazy.
I'm going to go crazy because it was insane that people were glad handing him for it. For his 73-hour work week, he can name the 11 starters that he's been studying. Get a freaking life. Anybody who glad-handed or even hit like on that goddamn clip on the internet. That was pathetic. You want to give someone credit? You ever ordered like Chinese food for a dozen Jewish people?
No.
I'm just saying, have you ever ordered a feast of like Chinese food for a dozen people and the lady on the other end of the phone can read it back to you? I'll give her credit. I'm not giving no Sean McVay his 70-hour homework and he can come out and name players. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, like for outlets to be jerking this guy off.
He didn't ask
Well, it just
for
shows
it.
how low the expectations are.
Yeah, no,
from
I'm
the
not
coach.
blaming him. I'm blaming the outlet that you're going up against for that video. Vote
The
for
four-letter
Pat.
outlet.
Vote for Pat.
Yeah. You know, like that, the worldwide leader, the mothership.
Also,
embarrassing.
I don't like it when waiters or waitresses come by and don't write down my order. They're like, "Oh no, I can remember it." They don't remember.
Yeah,
it.
I
They
will
never.
see that.
They never remember.
They're
it.
asking for trouble when they do
Like,
that.
why is it so hard to write it down? Just open up Dragon Dictation and hold out your fucking phone. It'll write it down for you. When I say it, I don't like that at all. It's dicey business.
I agree.
Like, is this like one of those hoity-toity places where there's only like 9 things on the menu?
No,
Period?
but those people all write it down.
They're good. Yeah, I'm just saying.
But that's a part of it. They write it down. It's the places you go to where they don't write it down. The lower quality establishments. That's when you're running.
We're
into
back
trouble.
to food. I'm getting hungry.
We'll get you out of here then. You're taking the Rams, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be an annihilation.
Coin likes the Rams too. Tim.
Philly is the last end of the parlay. I think Philly covers the number. I think Philly's live on the money line. I like Foles coming back in this game. I just think the media narrative of what will happen if Foles wins, and if he does, then the Eagles have a really good chance, if not a great chance, to be the wild card team. And like, what happens if he gets in the playoffs? They win a bunch of games again. And here they are with Wentz, and Foles just keeps winning playoff games for them, and they have Wentz. And like, at some point, I don't know what you do. I think it could be
what happens if you become more popular than Doug the Pug? Like, it's not happening.
Oh, what a terrible thing to say.
He doesn't have great. He doesn't have great quotes like Doug does.
Oh yeah.
Tim is also not a New York Times bestseller.
Neither is he. His
is.
owners are. I don't want to
He
read
is.
this.
We went over this on the Christmas custom.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't even.
I am not going to pick the Eagles to win the game. Obviously, I'm not that confident, but I will pick them to cover the number. I think it's close. I think the Bears exposed a couple of not just the Bears, but the Lions. Last 2 weeks showed if you just do not respect the run and take the play action out of the bag of tricks for the Rams, they're in some trouble. The Rams have to actually commit to running the ball a bunch, because if they don't, teams will simply say, we don't care about your play action.
Are you worried your Super Bowl pick's been diagnosed?
I'm a little concerned.
All of his picks, ever since he was bragging about how he got all his picks right, have been kind of shaky. The Saints
it's also funny how
Kansas City's dropping players left and right.
Pat, he's like, for a couple weeks now, he's laying the groundwork for when the defenses show up in the playoffs to beat the teams he's picked to win the Super Bowl.
Also, the big so he's trying to play. He's getting ahead of playing both sides.
Yeah, he's
savvy.
like,
He knows what he's up to.
Because he'll be like, no, go back to like week 13. I told you the defenses were always going to
spending the month of November and December laying the groundwork for creating an escape hatch for myself.
Well, we've already established you don't do anything else. You might as well make it that productive to get ahead of the game. So then you have built-in excuses, and you were still right anyway.
I am worried about those defenses. I will say
the big thing between Detroit and Chicago, the common similarity that they have is they both have good run defenses. And you can take that part away from Los Angeles, and then you make them very one-dimensional. I don't think Philly can do that.
Well, maybe they can't. But I mean, listen, last year you saw the Eagles be able to diagnose to shut down the Falcons in the playoffs.
The Eagles were also won the Super Bowl last year. They were amazing. They're not amazing this year.
They're not as amazing.
They're beat to shit.
But in one game, can they muster enough?
No, they don't have the guys.
Well, but in one end, you still have pros. The idea
is
that
this on the teaser?
Yeah, it is. It's 17 and a half.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, it's 18. Oh, sorry. This is you're giving me 10 and a half. Yeah, then it would be 17 and a half. But it's fine.
You better be going for the middle when this game's in play on Sunday night.
Well, he's not really going to bet it, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, I am.
No, you don't. You never bet them.
Yes, I do.
Proline doesn't take teasers. How do you bet it?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's not get into it. I'm too busy winning DraftKings
money. Lies again.
I do.
Just sitting there lying.
No, I'm not. I do play these.
How do you play it then? Please explain to me on Pro Line how you play a teaser.
I'm not getting into it. I don't have to prove myself.
You don't have a credit card or any account set up to make an online bet. I'm certain of that.
Well, how else am I playing DraftKings?
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
I know how he did
He's
it.
on a DraftKings heater.
He is. He ended up sneaking out third place in our contest last week.
No, he is. His tinkering.
I've placed or won 3 of the last 4 weeks.
He's been playing pretty well.
What do you got?
What?
I'm terrified this week though because the Panthers aren't on the main slate. CMC is my go-to every single week.
What he did was he had to give someone else money so they could so they could PayPal the account because he doesn't know how to use PayPal either.
No,
that's not what happened.
That's not the worst thing.
Because he couldn't figure it out. That's not a bad thing.
No, I am doing pretty well on DraftKings these days.
Killing the game.
I'm good at the game inside the game.
New Orleans at Carolina, Monday nighter. Cam is like dead or hurt or something, but I'm going to take Carolina anyway. At home, +6, division game. Carolina needs one.
I am too. Just a classic home dog. The world likes the Saints, so I'm going to take the Panthers as that home dog.
We're thinking the same thing here.
Monday night, home dog.
Coin likes New Orleans.
I'll take Carolina.
Carolina. It'll be a no bet for me, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not betting against. I feel like the Saints have looked really good in prime time outside of the Dallas game. And they've waxed people.
Makes sense. They were in so much trouble last week. They still covered.
They still covered
a double digit. Yeah.
They haven't looked great though.
No, but no team can sustain excellence for 16 straight weeks. It's just not going to happen, right? You're going to have your ups and your downs. They're a team like the Patriots who are desperate for home games in the playoffs because I do have my concerns about them traveling on the road in postseason play. So they need the game. They won't be lollygagging out there, but I do think the Panthers will cover.
Is there any NFC sleepers?
The Bears.
The Bears aren't a sleeper.
No, the Cowboys are the people that people are talking up now. It's like who can upset the Rams or Saints, but the Bears just beat the Rams. I actually think the Bears are that sleeper team.
I don't think that Dallas or Chicago is significantly better than Seattle.
All right. Well, if you want a real sleeper, I mean, Russell's got 70-1 on the Seahawks, and I think that probably is where it is.
I think whoever gets the 6 seed could cause some real damage.
The Vikings?
The Vikings,
no,
the Packers, one of those teams.
They can't.
Because they'll be coming in hot. They'll be playing. Whoever gets in will have been basically playing playoff games for a month straight.
Yeah,
they'll be just hitting the ground ready to go, and they'll get Chicago or Dallas in the first round, who are good but not great.
Unless it's Minnesota, who's been losing a bunch of games, but that tie is going to be enough to get them in when 7-8-1 is good enough.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Still get in.
The Packers would have to win.
The Vikings can't lose out and make the playoffs. I don't think.
Well, I mean, I think they probably can't lose out, but they can go 1-3 or 1 out of 3 the last 3 weeks and get in probably.
Who do you got for the last AFC spot? That's also the giveaway too. Like the episode, DraftKings handle. Let me know who you think gets the final spot in the AFC. I'm really rooting for Baltimore to get it, but I hope it works out like Tim said, that Baltimore can win the division, Pittsburgh loses out, and then the Colts get the 6th seed. I think the Colts end up with the 6th seed.
The Colts-Titans could be that game flexed into Sunday night, Week 17. I did a simulation yesterday, which had the Titans doing it, but now that we've recorded the show, I've picked the Giants to actually win that game. So I guess I have to rescind that Colts thing. So it'll be the Titans. So yeah, the Colts. 6th seed.
Tim?
Dolphins, man. They get the Bills. I think they win this week. They get the Bills in Week 17.
Can you bet me? Can I pick a team and you I get the Colts and you get the Dolphins?
No, I'm not that confident.
He's not very confident until he has to put some money on it, is he?
I didn't say it was a guarantee.
Just like calling these free money teasers, and then
but I'll just give you their last 3 games.
I'll give you that. I know the Dolphins have 2 losses in their last 3 games because they're losing Sunday,
Jaguars,
and they're going to lose to the Bills.
They're losing the Bills Week 17, guaranteed.
Well,
I
guarantee.
2
years ago, when this exact spot was on the line, they went to Buffalo and won.
I don't care. That was 2 years ago. That was
it was bad.
That was the end of Rex Ryan, interim coach, probably, right?
I think they're going to go 10-6 now. If they don't get in on tie breaks, they don't get in on tie breaks. But I think 10-6 is
That would
there.
be a real freaking shame because that means someone gets a bye in the first round.
Well,
They're like
maybe.
I've said it since week 3. They're last year's Bills. Again, another crazy whack-a-mole.
Yeah, just insane game that they won.
Insane game. Most
Well, but it would be then 3 straight years where teams in the AFC East not made the Patriots made the playoffs, and then next year everyone will talk about how the AFC is awful, even though the AFC is awful, even though they keep sending 2 teams to the playoffs every single year. I guess we need to perpetuate.
The truth is, guys, the league is actually setting up, if the favorites kind of do their job this week, to have a very well, the playoffs are setting up to be entertaining. Week 16 and 17 is actually shaping up maybe to be very anticlimactic.
We had
Quite possible.
Even last year, though, week 17, we had the Mahomes Denver game,
And the Bills making the playoffs, and the Andy Dalton miracle.
Like there was just it was an entertaining, at least like 4 o'clock slate of games.
Yeah.
It was.
So I could see that happening again this year.
There were so many various things that could happen in week 17 last year. NBC couldn't have a Sunday nighter because they couldn't afford to get to individualize a game.
It's true.
Throw Super Bowl Sam in there. They're in no danger of
which is why that's why I feel like Dallas being the Saturday night playoff game for NBC is almost a sure thing. They owe them for not getting a week 17 game last year.
Hopefully Cleveland gets in.
Ugh, God,
it'd have to be the division. I'm telling you, it will have to be the division.
They could theoretically get the wild card.
Browns Chargers. What a fun playoff game that would be.
Baker? No, it wouldn't be Browns Chargers.
Yes, it would. They'd be the 4 seed. They sure as heck would.
If they won the division.
I think that's the only way they can get in, as Geoff was saying.
No, they can get the wild card if they win out.
I think it's the better path.
The easier path is the division, but if they win out, they're still like they would need stuff to break their way. But I believe that their 9-6-1 record would be good enough if the Dolphins don't end up winning 10 games.
Don't they have 7 losses?
Listen, they have 7 losses. If they're 5-7,
5-7-1.
So 8-7-1. They would need everything to break their way. Because they would play Denver this week and eliminate Denver.
But aren't
they would eliminate
heads like the Titans play the Colts, so someone has to win.
Yeah, but
just so I can note this, their Football Outsiders says their chance to make the playoffs is 0.5%.
Well, at one point, Football Outsiders basically declared that the Patriots had a 0.001 chance of winning a Super Bowl, and then you declared it was over, Tim. And what happened then?
Whatever.
They won.
We know what happened.
I do. I recall what happened. Superlocks of the week. It sounds like you're going with Indy, Mr. Geoff.
Yeah, 2.5 Indy.
Indy minus.
I had them last
2.5.
week as a super lock. So
we're
going right back there.
Tim, it's on you.
Yeah, again, a week of games that I don't particularly love, but I am going to take the Oakland Raiders plus 2.5.
Oakland plus 2.5. I almost took Cincy on the other side of that game. They were on my short list. Them, Houston, Tampa Bay, and then you basically talked me out of Tampa Bay. But I'm going to take Tennessee plus 2.5 in the Meadowlands to beat the Giants.
Hold on. I actually do need to change my pick. I can't make a super lock that's not on my teaser. Just for God's sake. I think the Dolphins are going to win. Give me the Miami Dolphins and give me the 7. Give me the Dolphins.
Miami plus 7.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins. I got to have a team on my teaser. It makes no sense otherwise.
So I'll bet you that game. Money line, odds accordingly.
No, well, that's okay.
Chicken. He's a chicken.
I am. I'm. As Geoff noted there last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm very gun shy about making bets on the show after the way things have.
You talk a big game about how this is going to happen and that's going to happen.
Been taking the bets for forever.
And then eventually, you just back right off like a coward.
The last couple of weeks, I've been a little bit more cautious and a little more tentative, partly on Geoff's suggestion that I don't allow myself to get snookered into bets on the show, even if they're fair bets and they're fair odds. I don't want to do it.
So wasn't his proclamation he's only making bets that he proposes?
But he's never proposed a bet on the show ever. So what are we doing here? The cursed money teaser of the week is Dallas plus 9.5, Green Bay plus 13, Minnesota plus 14, Jacksonville pick'em, and Philadelphia plus 17.5. Tim, that's it?
Miami, not Minnesota.
Miami.
Yeah.
That's an A, not an N. So Miami plus 14.
Yeah.
What game ruins it, Geoff?
Miami.
I think Jacksonville might. Somehow the Redskins win 35-30 in that game, and no one knows what happened because no one watched it.
I actually think it gets ruined out of the gate with Indy.
I hope so. That'd be looking good for us. I like Indy a lot this week too.
Do we have the Fienberg teaser you were talking about?
Yeah, what
Sure, let's do it. Chargers to 10.5. Vikings, Ravens.
Vikings, so Minnesota pick'em.
Yeah, Ravens
Minnesota pick 'em.
minus a half. Or
And what is it? Sorry.
Ravens?
Oh, Baltimore -1.
Or
Baltimore
whatever
-1.
it is.
Yeah, 7-point tease. Tim, how come you don't play the 10-point teasers?
You mean what are the heck is the term? Like the sweetheart teasers? Like you have to like eat juice to play them or something.
You're eating juice to play any teaser.
Yeah, but like it's like -105 or something for those. No, thank you.
What's the difference? You're not betting on it anyway.
I am.
We've already
I
established
don't
you're not.
understand why you have been so antagonistic towards me on the show today.
Because you're just straight up lying about what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
Jeff, is there any chance that he wasn't moving around earlier when he was?
He
We
was,
can hear him.
Yeah, there was movement.
Paul,
Oh, buddy. He's a pathological liar at this point.
pathological liar.
Here. I am the one who was here. I know what I was doing.
We can
wasn't
hear. We can hear you moving around. You pretend you're being sneaky, sneaking out for cigs.
No.
And
I
then
put
every
myself
time that you get up and try to go out the door, it goes.
No, I put myself on mute anytime I have to move or do something.
No, you don't.
I do. All right. I know what you're trying to
Didn't
do.
even. I'm surprised he even.
He
knows
doesn't know
that
it.
He
Do
can
you know what
mute
he
his
does?
own mic.
No, you know he doesn't mute his own mic. Do you know what he does? This is exactly what happens. Because Tim is so bad at technology. He's not muting himself when
Yes, I am. I put the mute button right here on the keyboard. Mute.
Yeah, that doesn't mute you, you moron. It mutes us from you hearing us.
Oh, I thought it mutes everything.
So when you are moving and ruffling, we're hearing you, man. That's what we've been saying.
But I wasn't in that instance.
This is as good as the thing where you couldn't open the windows.
This explains a lot. It just took me a while to think through it
Yeah.
and just put myself into
I'm
Tim's
like,
shoes.
wait, he can't actually do what he's saying.
Exactly. He doesn't know how to mute himself. He's just putting his computer on mute so he can't hear anything.
Like right here.
Why would you not be able to hear us if you put yourself on mute? Because we
I
wouldn't
thought
be
by
muted.
hitting it, I don't make any sound and you don't make any sound.
No.
That's what the button on the keyboard did. And then I just
You have
hit it then.
muted us in that instance, not you.
'Cause, like when you tell me you can't hear me, like I hit the sound up button or sound down buttons on my keyboard, and that seems to work.
No,
Because you said
it doesn't.
better.
Paul turns you up on our audio board.
Oh, I thought it's because I wasn't talking loudly.
Yeah,
That's why
I know.
was turning
I
up.
know he can mute himself in Zoom, Paul, but he couldn't figure out how to use Zoom. Like
No, I know.
he has not thought that far in advance. Yes, I get that it's possible that he could mute himself, but I know that that's not what he's doing. Man,
Whatever.
that's a bad look for you. I like that he thought he was turning himself up too by pressing a louder volume.
I thought I was being pretty slick here.
Well, it's all right. In the next minute and a half, you can go heat up some frozen potato skins, and you'll forget about this whole thing ever
Oh,
happening.
that's so gross. And they're probably,
Like they're bad to begin with.
yeah.
Now he's adding in the element of
And you
cooking
have
them
to
in the
like
microwave.
over nuke them because you don't want to bite into it and like
Well,
have
that's
a
it.
cold
You have to
center.
overnuke them. You do.
So he has to over nuke it, and it's just the whole revolting.
Well, I want to thank the Coin for being here. You can follow the Coin on Twitter at
Me neither.
LCoin. You can follow Jeff at GFeinberg17. And because we have our dose of sadness today, it was brought to you by Tim Undergust.
Tim Andergust.
That's not my name. I bring happiness and joy.
I don't know, man. Is it because people compare themselves to what you're up to and they're like, not that bad?
No, I'm not a charity case.
It sounds like you should really take a class at the Adult Learning Annex.
No, I could teach one.
You can't teach how to use simple technology.
Whatever. I never professed to be an
You
expert.
could take the class, here's what buttons do.
Has he made a list on Christmas music?
No, I don't believe he has. Anyway,
I mean, I like Christmas music. Snoopy's Christmas is the best song.
you say Snooki's Christmas special?
Snoopy's Christmas song is the best song by the Royal
I
Guardsmen.
wish.
Vote for the Pat Mayo Experience, fsta.org/vote video. You can find it in the description and the comment section of this. Download, subscribe. We gave you all the giveaways. Just have some fun in week 15. Hopefully I can make my run on Tim and not get stalled halfway through the day and really pick up like 10 games because I'm 17 down.
Oh, yeah.
Need something to happen for me here. All right, good luck in week 17. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
I know what clip you're going to cut for Twitter.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Tim, mute yourself.
Yeah, mute yourself, Tim.
No, that doesn't work.
What clip do you think he's gonna cut?
So wait, so if I click this button,
Keep talking.
or can you not hear that? Like I'm clicking now the button next to the start video button on Zoom. Is that the mute button that I should be using?
The one that with the cross through the microphone.
I would say, Tim, don't even bother because you're gonna mess it up.
Yeah, you'll probably just like shut down the entire production if you tried this stuff.
There's like an X or a line going through.
Yeah, I think I got it. I think I got it cased.
Let's see. Talk.
See, he's doing it.
He got it.
He got
I
it.
was talking.
You
I was
Figured it,
talking.
you figured it
How
out.
does it feel?
It's just as simple. I should have. I don't know. I thought that Apples were like smart enough that like all the programs read through the keyboard, and that when I pushed a button on the keyboard, it like interfaced with all of the program that I was running. That's all. That was my mistake.
Now, when you think like what the cloud is, do you think it's connected to your brain so it knows what whatever you're thinking the computer does?
No, although I don't quite understand the cloud, to be perfectly honest with you.
What do you mean you don't understand the
I
cloud?
don't quite get what it does. I know it like stores stuff, but I'm not quite sure what or how it's storing things or like how I access it. But I mean, that's because I've never really looked into it that much.
You should use the cloud. It's easy.
I'm sure it is. I probably am using the cloud and don't even know it.
Potentially. It's like I have my phone, computer, iPad all synced up to the same thing so I can access all the same information from any device.
I probably do. My brother did all the stuff for me when I got some stuff because he's really good with technology. So he would have set me up with it, I'm sure.
Are you in a position to know who is and who is not good at technology?
Well,
It's like my grandma. My grandma asked me to fix Google one time when I was home for Christmas.
I like to think of myself as an everyman. And so people better than me, I like to think are pretty good at technology. People worse than me, I think are bad at technology.
Are there people that are worse than you in your age range? How this is the way you should look at it. In your age range, is there anyone worse at technology than you
I don't know. I'm sure there are.
that you know?
I'm sure there are. I don't know.
No, the answer is no.
Even
Our friend who's like, we think that he's like real borderline. Tim always says he's dyslexic, but he's not. That's his excuse. He's dumb. Remember when people were allowed to be like stupid? We have a friend who's stupid, and like, he's better at technology.
He's not.
He's dead.
No,
he's
he's
like
not.
he's
Am
a
I
moron.
crazy
He's a
to
dummy.
ask who you'd start?
No,
Rodgers
he's
or
not.
Mahomes? Is that like a
I have them
insane
I have them
question?
1 and 2. Just always start. Why
What?
would you not start Mahomes? What has Mahomes done in any game this year where you wouldn't want to start him?
Because this is Gaby's playing Rivers, and I have them both.
Why wouldn't you play Mahomes? Mahomes is the reason you're still playing fantasy football.
I'm aware of that. It also took me like 2 weeks to start, to realize.
I benched him all year.
He did. Tim benched him all year. We play in a keeper
For red
league where you
shirt
get a red shirt,
Oh.
but he just wasted Mahomes' best season. I did it
Because
with
I had Aaron Rodgers.
But would he have won if he played
No,
him?
I would have won one more game, and it would have been in week 1 when I would never have started.
Why didn't you trade
Mahomes
Rodgers
overall.
in the offseason and roll Mahomes?
I tried to trade Rodgers in the before the trading deadline, and I had no takers.
no one
so-
would take him because he was like, I need a first round pick for him.
No, I
can
would've
ask
taken a
How many
third for
guys
him.
are in your league?
14.
I would have
That's a
taken
lot.
a 3rd round pick for Rodgers. I
was
just
gonna
couldn't
say,
get any
like
takers.
a 10-man league, he doesn't really have value because I'll just get Andrew Luck or there's
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, now there are 2 teams playing this week in our fantasy playoffs who have Cam Newton and Carson Wentz, who's now not playing. It's like one of those 2 guys probably should have coughed up a 3rd for Rodgers.
What if you had Cam Newton? Why would you have traded for Aaron Rodgers?
To ensure that one of my
To ensure that
fellow
in week
competitors-
15 he wouldn't get hurt?
just to ensure one of my fellow competitors don't have him.
But you weren't a competitor, so it didn't matter.
No, but you trade for him so that a competitor can't trade for him.
Why would anyone with a starting quarterback trade for another quarterback?
to ensure
But
that
that
a
doesn't make any.
competitor-
You keep saying that you would be a good GM. You're a terrible fantasy GM. If
I
that's
won
if that's the logic that you would use to make a trade, that doesn't make any sense.
I won multiple keeper championships. I've made the finals 3 times. I like to think I know what I'm doing.
But you want to trade for a starting quarterback that you would never play.
For a 3rd round pick, it's cheap. If you're playing 4 this year, what do you care about a third in our league?
That's
There's
so
nobody
insane.
in the
That's
3rd
such
round.
an insane take.
You know that there's nobody in the 3rd round we're taking in our league.
I bet you when you
So,
go back and look at the 3rd round picks from this year, there's 1 or 2 gems in there.
I doubt it. They're always bad.
Mayo experience! Experience!